like I said, coming from East, we had a proper mechanic. But now I live up in the sticks. I've had to find a new one. I'm feeling my way around. So I've been going to one of the major brands and been doing the car there. So I've now started looking around and I found one Asian that does it with his sons, yeah? The ones that they talk in a different language when they're trying to rip you off. And I don't understand what they're saying, and I know they're doing it, yeah? But still, their rip off is still going to be cheaper than other people. So anyways, we've gone there. It was £45 for the actual, the labour. I said, £45 for labour? Come on, bruv. You know, why you do me like that? I said, I've come to you because I know because you didn't even give me a receipt for this. I know you're not charging VAT. Yeah, you're saving your money. He said, which one you go to? I said, the one over there, Quidfit. Yeah. Yeah, they're white people, man. You know, they don't talk to like we do. I said, that's what he said. This Asian was old man. I said, exactly, uncle, bruv. You need to sue me out. He said, don't worry, I'll come back and sue you. I said, yes, we have an understanding. I said, later on, uncle.
Let's come back and see if he sorts you out first before you give this understanding.
I told him, listen, I got 2 cars. I got my brother-in-law that's down there. I said, we're all looking for a nice mechanic. If you sort me out, and I'll bring them, innit? But if you want to be trying to rip me off, like any Joe Blogs, then I'll find somebody else.
As soon as he left him, bloody martro.
Banjod?
Why you tell me fuck your blood? Fuck your blood. Why are you running like woman? I'm not running like woman.
It's just that thing that if you're not white, I'm sorry for white people, if you didn't know this, the people, when you're not white in this country, everybody's against you. Behind your back, like, the Asians
Why
might
are you telling them the secret?
The Asians might not like me, yeah, to my face, just like they said, once I turn around, they might have cussed me behind my back, but together, they're both cussing you.
In this country, non-whites are moving like Captain Planet. Earth, wind.
With our powers combined,
Captain Planet, we're the heroes.
Wind, water, go planet.
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet.
Captain Planet, he's our hero. Gonna take pollution down to 0.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, rodents and other small insects. It is another episode of the Eloquently Saying Nothing podcast, episode 106 of season 2. Happy to have you here at ESN podcast and on your social medias and hashtag ESN pod. Join in the conversation. Let us know what you're saying at esnpodcast@gmail.com for email address for all your questions, comments and audio notes. Right, I am Stavros Boss at Stavros Boss everywhere. Thank you very much. And in the room with me tonight, we have the full squadron. Let's go around. I'm going to start on my left. We have Mr. Wolf.
What's going on? We ought to focus on our destination, not where we had fallen. Nigerian proverb, this means be focused, look ahead and keep moving. Leave the past where it belongs. In the past. Boom. It's the Wolf in the house. You can catch me on Instagram on aka Mr. Wolf, on Twitter aka _Mr. Wolf. Happy New Year, Merry New Year.
And to my right, we have Simple Simon.
Ole cool. Tell me where you think I know fit do. There's no yardie today. Man just came back from Africa. My head is full of Nigeria right now. I can't even hear any yardie rhythms. I don't know any of the lyrics. I can't hear nothing. Fully AF this week. I'm so excited.
The 2 Jamaicans that listen are upset, boy.
No, don't worry. It's there, but it's not there right now. That's all.
They want their representation.
I hear you.
You're coming back to represent them, but
Gaza will say forever, nah. Yeah. Good
Half
to
and
be
half.
back.
Socials
at Simple Simon FB. You know me.
how come that man's released so many albums from prison still?
Who's that?
Vibes Cartel.
Albums from prison.
He's left bare albums since he's been in prison. He's released bare albums.
I don't know about albums, but I know for sure tunes. But that's because his work rate before he went to prison was wrong. He's one of the. It was wrong. He was one of them people that would go studio and do 15 songs in each session. And out of those 15 songs, only 2 of them would get released. So at times like this now, he's got a back catalogue of stuff. And a lot of time what they do is they just take the vocals off of the stuff that he's done before and put them over in new instrumentals and make new tune.
All right. Interesting. We also have that actor.
What's good, people? Happy new chapter. I'm going to do quotes this time around. So famous quotes. from actors and famous people. So today's quote is, "Life is an opportunity you are prepared for." That's a quote from Mr. Denzel Washington. You can catch me at DATACTOR on Instagram and Twitter. You heard?
Are you still actor? No, you gone back to web slinger again. What are we doing?
I might go back to web slinger later.
Who's your favourite actor?
Of all time?
Yeah, black actor.
I know. It's
It'd be Denzel. No?
Oh no, it's the older black. Oh, flipping hell,
Sidney
I forget his
Poitier?
name. Yeah. Is it Sydney?
There you go.
Yeah, Sydney.
Mr. Tibbs.
Last
One of my dad's favourite films.
and least, we have what's his name? Big Wahala.
Yeah, what's good, people.
The man reduced his status.
It's like he likes to try anyway. He's been trying me since last week.
and least.
At Big Wahala, Twitter, at Big Wahala on Insta. I like your boy. I'm done. I haven't got any extra.
Let a bitch try me. Try me.
Let's start from. Oh, has anyone got anything to say? I was going to start from last week's episode, but if anyone's got something to say, they've got something to say.
Apart from the fact that it seemed like we were missed last week, and I was ill. 2 weeks ago, we had an episode with
Cinti and JJ
Bola. Yeah, and I was ill on that podcast. But I tell you, the flu came and gave me the left hook that Dillian White gave to Chisora, and I was knocked out.
Poor Jazora, man. You might have done it.
He was close. He was close.
Won,
but I was knocked out, man. And I don't get the flu. I think I've had the flu maybe about 3 or 4 times in my life. And this one mashed me up, and I'm still kind of recovering, but it's all good, man. I'm here.
That's a lot of times to have the flu in your life, man.
I don't get the flu, but I've had the flu 3 or 4 times in my life.
The flu is different from a cold, you know.
Yeah, because I've had the cold. Like I get the cold every 3 years or so. But
A
the
lot.
flu,
3 or 4 times is a lot, bruv. People get the flu
In 4
every
decades.
single year.
In 4 decades.
no,
it's
what
not
the
bad.
flu or the cold?
The flu.
No, people do not get. If people
The
get
flu
the
is serious, you know.
If people get the flu every
That's
year,
why they
then
give them the flu jab,
No.
because people get it. It is a common
people
virus to
do
have.
not get the not in general. People get the flu every year, but a particular person does not get the flu every year. Otherwise, they'd be dead.
So 4 or 5
Influenza.
times in
That's
my
not-
life is a lot.
Is that
Yes.
flu off?
Like once per
Flu every year,
decade.
they will be dead. Are you sure?
Bro, flu can kill you. You know?
I'm not,
can kill you.
flu can kill you, but it mutates as well. So I'm not saying that you. So I'm saying that it's not impossible for you to get it quite frequently.
It doesn't. It just doesn't happen because you don't get the flu that often. People don't get the flu that often.
but
they confuse cold with flu all the time.
it can damage your
They go
immune
to work
system.
and you got the cold, bruv. If you had the flu, you would not be at work. You'd be shivering in bed like somebody just
Like Pookie out of New Jack
I
City.
had the
Yes,
flu.
yes.
I had the
Yes.
flu, and I was at work, and I just happened to have.
You didn't have the flu then, bruv.
bruv.
You know the flu.
You had a serious cold. You didn't have the flu.
You probably what you sound to have is a chest infection.
No, bruv, I'm telling
if you had the flu, your bones would hurt.
bruv, I'm telling you, I was finished. And you remember, we get sometimes I get 3 or 4 days off at a time, so that gave me time to recover. And I got the cold at the beginning. I recovered from that,
It's not even a flu. It's a cold.
and then after that, that's when I got the flu, and sneezing, coughing at a point when you feel like you're passing out, you feel like your head's gonna
I think you got a
explode.
chest infection, bro.
You know,
I had a chest infection, I had a flu, I had a cough, I had the
I used to
whole
think
lot,
I might maybe I got a flu, blah blah blah. Until
why are you
when it was
man
cold.
diminishing the fact that I had the flu? though?
Until I really got the flu, and then
That's
I said,
what I'm saying.
and
But
then
you're
I
a small person, so
If
maybe
a man
that's
said
why
that
you
he's
feel
got
like
the
it's a
flu, why are you suggesting that I didn't get the flu?
I didn't.
Oh, no.
I didn't.
You didn't get the flu.
I did not suggest you
For a
didn't
child,
have
you
the-
had a
yeah,
big
this-
person's cold.
You said you had the flu 3 or 4 times in your life. I said that's a lot of times. That's what I said.
You're a joker, bro.
All I'm saying is, I thought flu, yeah, whatever, until I got the flu. And then I realized this is because through cold, I charge for it.
Yeah, but you have to remember-
I was 1 night away from actually going to A&E. That's
One
how bad it
night
was.
only.
But
If I
one
didn't,
night
if I
only.
didn't feel like I recovered a little bit over that night, then I was actually worried, man.
But Stav, you need to obviously talk about your history, because whenever you have something, you always have the worst that could ever happen regarding that thing.
Perfection, isn't it?
If he got AIDS tomorrow, he would die immediately. There'll be no. He wouldn't even get HIV. He'll go straight to AIDS. He'll go from. That's how Stav gets something. Just
What's wrong? I think I got AIDS.
as soon as he either passed the blood or the sex or whatever, he's
The blood or
dead
the
the next day. They would have said. Yeah, I don't know. If you saw what he had when he had chicken pox, that's when I knew that this man had suffered, boy.
When did he get chicken pox? So, as an adult
He was
or
as a
child?
teenager.
You don't get chicken.
So you had
pox as an
shingles
adult.
then?
No, shingles is after you have chicken pox.
Nah, bro. He
It's
had
an adult version of
he had it in
chicken
his
pox.
eye.
You had chicken pox in your eye.
He had it everywhere.
Inside my eyelid, yeah.
He had it everywhere, man. And you
You're like a petri dish, innit?
you know, you know when they talk about blackface.
Yeah.
He was the reverse with whiteface when they put the milk of not milk of magnesia. What's it called?
Chamomile.
Chamomile.
Milk of black.
You know when we put milk of magnesia on their face, you know,
Why?
for makeup or some foolishness
Is
like
it?
that. Yeah,
Oh my
I've seen it on these tutorial rubbish. But anyway, so yeah, man, he was there. I remember, man. You know already. We just had the discussion last week about how me and Staff's relationship in the past. I don't feel sorry for Staff for most things. If anything happens to him, I just take it as karma. But this day, when I saw him the way he was, man, he was like he had his arms out straight. He looked like a zombie, basically. He looked like Walking Dead.
Okay.
Because he can't touch anything, because if he touches anything, it will itch him.
This is how I know I'm a legend, yeah? Because my ones, they burst really easily. As soon as they touch something, it was just burst, and so it was blood all over my sheets. And so this is what happened.
Blood on my sheets.
I slept with my feet on the bed and my head on a stool. It's a cushioned stool, but that is how I slept, with the middle of my body levitated.
Levitated.
Well, it wasn't really levitated, but it just in thin air, because I couldn't put my whole body on something. It was too painful.
It was bad.
And I slept. That's how you know. I could be in the army and sleep, boy.
But you sleep everywhere, though.
That's my point. This is when people I can't go camping and sleep. I'll sleep. Yeah, I haven't done it before, but I'll sleep. There's creepy crawlies, there's bears. I'll sleep.
And no one else around you can sleep.
You know how often I sleep in the living room?
Every night, I'm assuming.
All the time, man, because the wife is just, if I go in there, because I get home, I'm always late to bed. Wherever I get home, it doesn't matter what time it is, I'm in bed 4 or 5 a.m. And she's a light sleeper, unfortunately. So I might wake her up at 5 when I've gone in myself. She'll always check the phone as well. She'll always check the time. It bothers me to hell. Anyways, I'll not, because when I sleep, Yeah, so I'm gone. And then I'll wake up, and then she's just there in the living room. Look what happened. That's like, I couldn't get to sleep again. Like, you stopped me from sleeping now.
Wow.
So I get to the point now, I just sleep in the living room. Yeah, sometimes.
You know you can do something about that, though, innit?
What does she want me to do?
There's certain things you
I
can
might
do.
get an operation on my nose.
Sinus.
Why didn't you just get one of those Darth Vader mask things that they have?
I don't know about that. I don't know what you're about.
And it can it's like you put like a mask on before you sleep, and it like stops the snoring so much.
Okay, I'll
Have you
I'll
tried
look
to
into
put the
that.
patch over your nose as well?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Apparently those strips don't work.
Well, there's a number of
I
different
think
things
maybe
that you can do
maybe
to
for black
stop.
noses.
There's different types of snoring, though, isn't it?
You already got wide nose, breathing on the white man's air nose.
There's a snoring that if you move the person, then they stop snoring, innit? But Stivers hasn't got that.
You know what might do it?
Some weight as well.
You might have to breathe in some
added that in there.
aboniki for like 10 minutes before you go to sleep. It will clear everything, boy.
It's not blocked.
clear.
I don't think it's
You
the
didn't hear what I
sinuses,
said?
man.
It will clear everything.
Everything. You are healed. Go forth and serve the Lord.
In church, they don't bother with.
I tried some
in
of
Nigerian
that,
church,
and
they
it
don't
helps.
bother with holy water. They just spray with Abenaki.
Yes, one time, boy.
That helped for a little while for me. But
What's that, abonaki?
yeah.
If you rub abonaki in the right place, boy, it can fix you. I'm not even lying to you.
I'm sure there's man that's tried it on their things before to get hard, boy.
No.
And then what's that going to do to the woman?
Boy, they don't. You know, man, in Nigeria don't care about women, man. In that capacity.
You'll feed the fire in yourself. You'll feed the fire.
I'm hearing something. Maybe you've just come from there. Were you watching the news?
Yeah.
Is there something about them raising the legal age for marriage from 11 to 18?
yeah, I saw something.
Yeah.
There is a petition going around to try to get them to do it. The government isn't doing it. They're trying to force their hand.
The thing about it is
11 to 18. Like, what kind of a jump is that? 11 obviously is too young, but then 18.
so the thing is,
Well, in 18, in some parts of the United States, it's 18, isn't it?
No, to have sex.
No, 16 for marriage, right?
But okay, I'm gonna let Simple speak. Anyway.
yeah, with the marriage thing, the problem with it is that from what I can understand anyway, they want to make it legal as in within federal law, but the marriage age at the moment is to do with custom and traditional law. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, okay.
And the big problem is up north is where that young age marriage thing is happening. Because
The Muslim ones.
yeah, with that lot up north. So they're trying to unify through federal law something that is currently sitting in the jurisdiction of custom and traditional law. So it's like there's a couple of things that are happening like that at the moment as well, with like women rights and all them kind of stuff as well. So it's a bit mad.
Well, you know, there's a lot of discussions about women's rights in Africa as a whole, and especially West Africa, and a lot of times in Nigeria, about how women's rights is poor and they need to up women's rights in
But the main
certain countries.
problem is the same. The problem is that the custom and traditional law is what dictates how the women are being treated, and it's the federal law that's now trying to say we have to try and unite a Nigeria of all of these different tribes, of all of these different traditionals and all of these different customs about, you know, this thing. Because there was a case with a woman who, her father didn't have any boys, and his inheritance was, she went to claim for his inheritance, and the court, she tried to do with the traditional. They said, no, they're not having it. So then she thought she could go to federal court and win the case. Federal court says that we de facto to whatever traditional says in this particular argument. And that's a big problem that's happening now.
Well, the problem with Nigeria is that it's too big.
Too big for what?
He's got everything. It's too. There are too many different. They're not. It's not meant to be what it is it?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying to
everybody
you.
should be going to their own things anyway, and everybody should have their own traditions of how they do things.
But the problem here is if your traditional jurisdiction is run by the same people who benefit most from the current situation, then you're not going to get any justice.
But that's almost every country, isn't it? Still, that's just not an African thing. That's
No.
country.
That's true. Every country, but again, like you said, because Nigeria is a construct that isn't even an elected construct, it means that you don't just have the problem of it being that the guys who are in control of this thing are the ones that are the law. You also have the problem that the law is changing between you and your neighbor, simply because your tribes are different and all them kind of stuff as well. It's mad.
I don't like you saying that, you know, especially Nigeria, West Africa. There's other places too. I was just listening to something about Kenya. Is it Kenya?
No,
yeah, and female genital mutilation.
No, I'm not talking about, when I say especially, I'm not saying it in that way. I'm just saying it as in, that's what I'm seeing because people I know are from that area. Sorry, Karen. We had this discussion last week. Karen.
Where was I now?
Genitalia mutilation.
Yeah,
Kenya.
yeah.
I thought it was Uganda though.
Happens in
all them places,
Ethiopia.
A lot of East Africa.
But no, it happens. Yeah,
Mhm.
but what they're doing now,
Sudan
I
as well,
think
I think.
it's in Kenya.
Mm.
Sudan got their own issues right now, but they're warring out there. Is that when women come back from holidays to school, they want to check them if they've been if they've had FGM, because it's illegal there. But
If they've had what?
FGM, female genital mutilation. Which is what do they call it for men again?
Circumcision.
Yeah, they call it circumcising women, where basically they cut them and stitch them.
They cut off the clitoris, basically.
And are you sure it's off, or they just cut it?
They cut off the fun factory.
Yeah.
Deep.
Yeah.
Anyway, so but they do something. You do the research with that. I haven't. It's not something I actually want to know too much about. But they butchered a woman's insides as they grind. So from teenage years, and then they sew them up, and that's their female version of male circumcision. And they do that, but it's illegal in some places. But in Kenya, it's illegal. But they still do it standard. So when they go back to school now, they're saying, well, because apparently they have nurses in schools in Kenya, so they want to check all the students. But it's like, well, there's no reason to check the students because you're probably not going to prosecute anyways. Because who can we say did what? If it's already happened, it's already happened. Nothing we can do about it now. And then it's the meaning for the women that it happens to. And then on top of that, you kind of like, now everybody knows that it's happened to them. So you have the people that have had it and the people that haven't had it. And now you're kind of like causing the division between women.
The problem with that is though, you can't understand the problem until you understand the magnitude of the problem. So although those women are not going to get any justice, how do we stop it from going forward? If you can put up statistics that say 79% of people between this age and this age have had this FGM, which then you realize that they're of a generation, which means you know that's their parents that have been doing it. Then the education starts like, yo, you know what? We have to let this go. You know what I'm saying to you? So in a funny kind of way, the activity seems like it's a waste of time, but you can't change unless you got stats, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm gonna ignore Wahala anyway. Wahala's there just putting up his hand.
excuse me,
Boy.
sir.
He did it a minute ago and it seemed to work well. That's why I did it.
It works. Go.
Alright, so you know them. Okay, so as all of us here, we like to pretend like we're traditionalists in certain aspects and blah blah blah. You know, we're culturally traditionalists, but then these are traditional things and they're cultural things that they have in their culture. So when do we draw this line where we say, you know what, this is madness and this is culture?
That's a good question.
I'm of rational mind, yeah, or at least I like to feel like I'm of rational mind, and in a sense, I am for traditional stuff. But at the same time, there comes a point where, as a sensible person, you can understand that this practice that was done at this time for this reason was done because the knowledge around the practice wasn't broad enough. We're not at a stage now where the knowledge may have increased and it may have broadened. So I can now understand, okay, maybe that doesn't make sense.
If you have a boy, you're going to get him circumcised.
this is something I'm truly thinking about.
Because then what?
Because it happened to me. And
I said it like it was a victim. It's a victim. It happened to me, bro.
do I have a choice? Did I have a choice? I didn't have a choice.
If you had a choice, would you have got it cut?
I don't know.
If you could in your head now say, you know what, I'd rather be cut or uncut. Which one would you rather be?
I like the way I am right now, but I don't know the other side, do I?
The designer.
I didn't know how I was before.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm struggling with that one. I don't know if I would or if I wouldn't.
So is it a question of knowing whether your human rights have been violated rather than your traditional?
No, but even with the circumcision thing, right? If you look at it, if let's go away from superstition and all the rest of it. Let's just look at it from a scientific point of view. Yeah, the argument for it being more hygienic is plausible. Yeah, the other side of me, because I am a real bush person, the other side of me says, why was it there in the first place? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So there is dual purpose, but we can have a dialogue about that.
Yeah, because a rational person will say, well, just wash yourself, because hygiene is just about being clean.
But with regarding this circumcision thing, like I was having a discussion actually with one of my uncles about it, and he was saying that his son had a son, and he's Nigerian and they're from West Indies, and from their particular wherever they're from in that family, they don't do it, and they was like, we're not doing it, and he said, are you mad? Yeah, the boy's gonna get cut, and he was like, if you're Nigerian, if you go to Nigeria and they see that this boy's not cut, he's gonna be an outcast. Yeah. He's gonna be an outcast that he's not being cut. Then they both started bringing up religion because they're both Christian families and very Christian. And then this is where I said, where do people, even someone like Mr. Wolf that's quite religious, where do you draw the line between religion and tradition? Because he's like, I don't care about what the Bible was telling you, whether the Bible tells you to do it or not. Because there was like in the Bible, it's saying this and it's saying that. And he said, the Bible of your Bible is saying this. Nigeria say this. That's what we do in our culture. Where you're about, we cut.
Hold on, the Bible says do it or don't do it.
He was saying the Bible's saying
said that you do it.
Where? Where does it say that you do it?
Somewhere. I can't remember.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it does say that you do it.
It does. It says that you must.
Let me do a
Are
quick
you sure the Bible said it? Because I thought the cutting was a Jewish thing, not the Bible thing.
That's right.
Yeah, but
so I don't think it's a Christian.
Old Testament then.
Man, that's dashing. Anything that
I wouldn't be surprised.
Anything that seems a bit left field is Old Testament.
Nah, but it says
Thou shall not shoot the Bible chickens in the leg of what?
Them man there said it.
The Bible is new in Old Testament.
God and them.
Old Testament.
But
thou shall cut their blood clot.
But if I was blessed with more sons, then I will.
I think we were gonna say more skin.
More sons, then I will circumcise my son.
The book of Genesis mentions that God issues a command to Abraham that every male child shall be circumcised.
Right, so it does say it.
In the Old Testament, yeah.
Apparently, and it is performed on the 8th day after the birth of the baby boy, as instructed in the book of Leviticus.
So, for example,
my favorite book.
In the 7th day, in the Yoruba tradition,
8th day.
7th.
You talking about the name?
Yeah.
It's the 8th.
8th?
Yeah.
8th day then. The child gets named. You get me? And on the 8th day, also it says that you should circumcise your child as well within 8 days.
I named the
Do you know that in Italy, circumcision is not legal? Let me not say it's not legal. They only do circumcision legally if there's a medical reason to. You cannot do it for cultural reasons. So in the UK, you can do it for cultural reasons. You can go to somewhere and have a circumcision. This is what we do in our culture, and have your circumcision. So that's why it's cool here. But in Italy, they don't do it. So what they're now doing with people coming from Africa that are living in Italy, they want their child circumcised for exactly the reasons we've just been talking about. But they can't go to the hospital and do it because it's like, what reason? Oh, there's no reason. That's where they get sent away. So what's happening is they're getting basically backstreet doctors to do it. And it's like one in each, let's say 100 child. I'm just picking a number, but children are dying because they're not getting qualified medics to do this. Well, it's not in proper situations.
It's not just a circumcision. The after practice of the circumcision is
very important. I mean, one thing that I wanted to mention.
Sorry. Carry with your long story that you had after what you were going to say about.
Clearly, I cut off Wahala by accident.
No, I cut him off, and he's now.
And then I cut you off.
No, I was right. I'd finished.
All right, nice one.
Cause I'm quick. Just talk, man.
Yeah, man. What you find is that obviously in today's society that there's a lot of single parents in it. There's a lot of girls or women that are having sons, and a woman most women, I would say, and I'm just gonna kind of generalize here. Most women don't know what to do with an uncircumcised dick once a man has had a piss in it. So because they haven't got a dick, you know. So when their son,
I don't know.
Everyone's looking at you like you're mad.
So you mean the mum? The mum doesn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's what I'm talking about. A single parent mother.
I don't know what to do if I'm circumcised.
Because you're not circumcised, innit?
I am circumcised.
Sorry, because you're circumcised. The idea is that you need to pull it back and clean it and do all these kind of things, innit? I've been circumcised, but speaking on
behalf of
on what other men have said,
Half of the uncircumcised.
nah, I mean, barbershop banter, barbershop talk as well. You know,
That's what you don't talk about in the barbershop.
We talk about everything in the barbershop, innit? So when it comes to men being uncircumcised, children being uncircumcised, and mothers having an issue with a hygienic problem, you know, that in itself is quite commonplace. So you have. Why are you screwing your face for?
I just think you're undermining mothers.
I'm not undermining any. There are many circumstances, and some that I have known of, that women have had to get their sons circumcised for hygienic reasons because they didn't know what to do. They would just send their kid to toilet. Their kid will go to toilet and then just come back.
But what do you mean? Every day before they could go to toilet, the single mother would have been cleaning them, no?
They're in nappies,
and they clean themselves, no? Women, yeah. So why wouldn't I know men that do things that women do in the toilet because their mum told them to do it that most men won't do?
Well, I'm just talking about certain stories that I've heard of, innit? That there are some women out there that have had to have their sons circumcised because of the hygienic reasons that we spoke about.
I think they're probably in the minority.
Well, like I said, I don't know about the numbers, innit? But I'm just saying that these are stories that are out there. There are women that have had to go to doctors. They've had to get operations done to their young sons because of hygienic reasons, you know. And there was one guy in our barbershop as well, a grown-ass man who had to get himself circumcised because of the hygienic issue. So it happens, man.
You know the Filipinos, they get circumcised at 13.
Yeah, there was a guy in my school.
Filipino,
when we were in school.
Yeah.
Is that
A 13-year-old. Yeah.
Is that like the rites of passage?
Yeah.
There was a Filipino in our school. And yeah, one time he just said, "Look, I've been circumcised. We're in the shower, boy," and that was it. We looked flipping hell.
What's up, brother? Welcome to the club.
You're a little bit late, but you got here. Don't worry.
But like I said, there's a lot of people from the Caribbean that just, it's like when I said to some of the guys in a barbershop, my son's just been done. They looked at me like, "Why?" And I said, "Why not?" And then that's where the discussion came from. You know, a lot of Caribbeans do not circumcise their things. And then you could ask women, you could go into that side of things. What do you prefer? And most women will say they prefer circumcised dick.
But that's because, again, that could be like the media showing you that circumcised penis is the better.
No, they're talking about the feelings. Got nothing to do with the media.
No, but he's got a point, because there is something to do with the media. Because porn, how many times do you see uncircumcised dick on porn?
I don't know, man. I'm talking well, the women that I've had these discussions with and in groups and what have you.
They just don't like surprises.
They prefer the feeling of a circumcised dick.
They just don't like surprises.
I was expecting more from you.
So
I'm going to put a vote up there. Ladies, let us know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Can I segue into something from this?
Did you put your hand up?
No, because we were talking about young ages and 11s and going up to 18 and whatnot. So I watched this Surviving R. Kelly thing yesterday. I've only watched part 1 and 2.
What is it?
It's about the survivors of R. Kelly's madness.
Oh, the women.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically having a chat about
ex-wife and everything.
Yeah, ex-wife's on there. Sparkle's on there. Sparkle's talking about on behalf of the niece, because the niece is, I think the niece is not allowed to talk about anything. I think she must have signed something to say she's not talking. And then there's a lot of other
Sparkle's
victims.
niece.
Mm-hmm. That's the one that was in the video, isn't it?
I don't know who Sparkle is.
Sparkle was one of his artists.
You better be careful
What you doing, man? 2 years, I'm a something.
That shows you I don't listen to
Wait a minute.
to R&B. But go on.
Okay. But so yeah, anyway, so they was all on there. And one of the things that I noticed is it's been trending everywhere on Twitter, this R. Kelly thing. We knew it's going to be big anyway. But one of the things I noticed on the R. Kelly saga, which is it's disturbing in a way, is that most of the victims that was on there, apart from the one that was in the video that was 14, have been 17. All right. So they're 17 I was 17.
Just above the legal limit.
I was 17 in this country. I don't know about in America.
That's what I was saying. 18 in some.
I don't know if
states,
it's in America, but all that stuff that people are saying is disgusting, is this, is that, is disgraceful. Perfectly legal in this country. And it's mad. It's like, all these things that we're saying, this guy's a this, he's a that. If you came to England, there will be no issue with what he was doing. Well, there'll be a moral issue.
Well, that's the point. It's
but
moral.
there is no actual.
But again,
That's why he's not in jail, because he hasn't done anything illegal.
Well, the 14-year-old obviously one is the one.
But again, this. We had this conversation about consent, or the age of consent, a long time ago, yeah. And one of the things I was saying is, what is the age of consent? And the reason why I say that is because it is totally geographically by design. It's totally geographic by design. So, like you said, in this country, 16 is the age of consent. Somewhere else in Europe, I think it goes down as low as 12. Yeah. So, at what point?
I'm gonna have to check this.
At what point is it wrong? I think Spain is 14 or something like that. There's one place or two places in Europe where it's 12, as low as 12.
Do you think that they should make some like caveats?
That's like that in the States
For what?
as well.
Like some caveats to say, if you're 30, you can't sleep with a 17-year-old.
I think truly that it should be an age group. So if the country's age of consent is 14, then the other person cannot be the same thing that you're saying, a caveat. The other person can't be a certain number of years older than they are.
I know man's that's gone to prison for having sex with like 15-year-olds and they've been 17.
Yeah, they're in the wrong country.
Or 6, no, in this country I'm talking about.
Okay.
But like 17 or 17, I think it was.
That's mad.
And the girl's 15 and they've gone to jail for having sex with a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, they're not of consent. And obviously, that one's in college and that one's still in school. But that will send you to jail. But a 16-year-old...
I know where you're going.
A 16-year-old sleeping with a 32-year-old man...
It's legal.
It's fine.
Yeah.
If you were the parent of the 15-year-old,
It's mad.
would you want that boy sent to jail?
I don't think I'd want him sent to jail.
I would advocate on his behalf. It'd be like, as long as my daughter consensually had sex with him, yeah, then come on now.
Yeah, it's mad.
That's mad. That's like, I wouldn't. I'd feel like
I still because I still see a 70-year-old as a kid.
Yeah, that's
I don't
it.
see them as an adult. Whereas the law sees them as an adult now. I suppose. Well, even they're not even adult to the 18. Is it? 18 is adult is age.
For me, as long as you can join the army, as far as I'm concerned, you're considered an adult, which is weird because in America you can join the army before you can legally drink alcohol. So what are you? You're able to be trained to kill people, but you're not allowed to drink alcohol. You can't be responsible enough to do that. It's a bit mad.
Their alcohol laws make them twisted with drinking anyways. So let me just talk about
gun laws.
Go on.
Well, same. Well, I don't know actually. I guess that there's a debate time with that. But the lowest age of consent in the world is Nigeria at 11.
See, there you go.
Wow, it's mad.
I'm saying, but what's the one in Europe? There's one. I think there's a 12.
I don't know. It says the age of consent is 12 in the Philippines and Angola, 13 in Burkina Faso, Comoros, Niger, and Japan. And it says between 16 and 18 in most countries. The second highest age of consent, I don't know why I was picking the second highest one, is 20 in South Korea. So I want to know what the highest age of consent is now. 20, you know.
20.
Can I talk about South Korea?
That makes sense.
Very quickly.
What? Is South Kim?
No.
No, that's North.
That's North.
South Korea was got left in the dust just after the World War, and there were ruins, just like North Korea's ruins. South Korea is flourishing and successful. And I just want to say that we had basically the same starting ground as they did. We got our independence around the same time as they did. I'm talking about Nigeria, by the way. And they've just flourished.
Yeah, but how big is their country?
Flourished. I don't know. It's not 300 million like Nigeria.
That's the problem.
But more importantly, they've had the advantage of being one dominant tribe, if you like.
Cultural thing.
Oh yeah, I know they have their advantages. I know because America sided with South Korea, whilst Russia was with North Korea, and so America had a stake in making sure that it was successful as well. So unlike us, where they try to hold us back to prove a point, because before there was North Korea and South Korea, there was one Korea, and there was a big hoo-ha, and then basically Russia and America kind of split it and took their piece. So they have a stake in making them popular. But I'm just saying, the South got something to say. That's all I got to say. I just want to say that we could be popping as well if we pulled our jacksie up.
But yeah, so this thing it was mad watching it, because I was just like, it's mad for me to hear the 17 and be like, well, this is legal, but then hearing obviously that R. Kelly's big man and it's mad.
He's like in his mid-40s or 50s, ain't he?
Yeah, now, but at the time he was like, maybe late 20s, early 30s, going to the mall to pick up girls at the mall and going to school to pick up girls at school.
Oh, we saw that at college.
Hold on, so he's in his late 20s with a 17-year-old girl. So that's like what?
So maybe,
12
no,
years?
I'll say he's like 30. I think it was like 31. The girl that was talking said he was like 31, 30, no, maybe even a bit later. And he asked her, how old are you? And she said 17. And he was like, yeah, that's cool. Remember you had that interview when he went on the man's show and they said to him,
let me play that actually. I wanna...
That was so wrong, bro. What's young?
What's
Yeah, but
what do you mean by teenage?
No, yeah, but taking into account what we just talked about, the age of consent around the world, the question "what's young" then starts to have some.
But he looked dodgy,
bro. He should have just said no. I'm done with it.
He looked wrong when he said that, man.
19 or say 19.
Even when he was singing to them South Africans, boy.
Yeah, but he's just something.
They
talked a lot about that as well in the program.
Do you have your
I
passport?
don't know if you want me to get into it because I don't know how many of you watched it. But
Talk about it.
I don't mind it being spoiled.
I don't mind that being spoiled.
Because basically they were saying that there was a woman, like a psychologist, I think she was, that spoke about how people behave in certain things, and there was like when you want to cover something up, you either do it two ways. You show yourself as holier than thou. So then when anything happens, they'll be like, oh, he can never have done that. So they was like, the things where he was doing all the gospel music and blah, blah, blah. People will be like, this man is singing, I Believe I Can Fly, and all the gospel songs he's singing, how can he be a pedophile type thing? And then they said, the other way is to be extremely outrageous to the point where people will just accept it. Well, you're outrageous. That's the type of thing you do. So when he's going around doing all of this sex, that, all of this stuff, all of that stuff, it's to make you look at him and feel like, well, it's R. Kelly, innit? There's nothing what do you expect from somebody like R. Kelly? And that was it. And they were talking about the lyrics of some of his songs as well. And he wrote, You Are Not Alone. He wrote that, for Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. And apparently he wrote that song because of a girl that, one of the 17-year-old girls, he got pregnant and she had a miscarriage. And he wrote that song for her.
Wow.
Can you imagine? So there's bare underlining lyrics that he's got in his tunes that people are like, boy.
Can I just play this clip?
Play it.
Do you like teenage girls? When you say teenage, how old are we talking?
You guys are wrong.
Girls who are
Look at the man's face. The man looked at him like, what?
He said, girls who are teenage. Like, what? What kind of question is that?
R. Kelly.
But he's obviously thinking, what are you talking 13, 14, 15? Or are you talking 17, 18, 19?
Bro,
that's probably what he...
That's a couple of years ago. R. Kelly's in his late 40s.
Teenage. What exactly?
Yeah. I'm not trying to suggest that he was...
And his brother, one of his brothers is a bit dodgy as well. Because the other brother, one of them is in prison. And they was talking to him and he goes, no, it's a preference. I like women, or older women. And he likes young girls. And I was like, bruv, they're not helping your brother in any way, shape or form coming to say this shit. And then they all spoke about the fact that they was all molested. And I'm assuming that a lot of this has got to do with his molestation that happened to him when he was younger. But...
molested by who?
I think they were saying... they didn't say who. But there's been speculation it might have been their sister, yeah.
Do you know what's so
sister?
I heard something there.
Oh, do you know what's so mad though? I'm not invested in this R. Kelly story, and I realised now it's because I didn't really listen to R. Kelly ever.
Never did I.
So, like, when we were raving and stuff, R. Kelly come on, it was time for me to go to the bar, get a drink. Like, step in the name of love, I'll step into the bar.
R. Kelly is
funny thing about that is though, sorry, everybody knows an R. Kelly song.
Maybe, but I couldn't sing a whole song from end to end because I never listen to I don't listen to it.
Aside from
In the Closet, it's the only one.
I'm not trying to say that this guy is is a good person, but aside from his madness, musically and what he's done, he's a genius.
Yeah, we don't have to go into that though.
No. I'm not saying that we don't have to go into that, but what you're saying is that that you didn't know any R. Kelly songs and you're not invested by it, but the whole world knows this man and he's so popular because of his talent and because of his music, and that's why it's such a big deal. If he was just any old person like Mark Morrison, I don't think that people would give a shit.
Would you say musically he's a genius because he hid his molestation through his music?
No, I just think
that's what they're saying.
I just think that he is a talented musician.
Hold on, wait a minute.
And that's part of the reason why this is such a big deal, because he's not just any old riffraff person.
It's not just that. It's because he's getting away with it as well.
Yeah.
If I can see
getting away with getting away with what?
Well, because
immoral actions.
Yeah,
Immoral, and that's the thing.
And
You
hold
could-
on,
and illegal
but there's that
actions.
video. There's that video that I haven't seen still. Thank God, of him having sexual stuff
that he got
with a
away with
14-year-old, and he got away with that. So if everyone sees that, even if that's just the one thing he did, she was 14.
he paid her off, innit?
It doesn't matter.
I'm
she
not
was
saying
14.
that it's the right thing.
It was recorded. The whole world saw it. Just from that, you should be chastised.
He might not even have paid her off, though.
But you don't get done for being immorally incorrect.
He might not have paid him off because he's, again, this is what they're just.
I told you what happened with that before, right?
What's that?
That the girl's mum, the parents or the mum or someone decided that they didn't want to put her through the trauma of trial.
Yeah.
So they pushed it off, and then that was it. They sent her to stay with her aunt or something in another state.
Yeah,
And
that's
so-
why you don't see
yeah, so-
in this
so
you don't see the pictures of her.
The trial just kind of like
Fizzled
dissipated because she wasn't there to defend herself.
And you have to remember that these girls are still infatuated with R. Kelly at the time. So
Even now.
they don't want to say what he's done, because as far as they're concerned, R. Kelly is he made them call him dad. All of this, it's like a lot. They call it psychological whatever.
It's grooming. It's grooming.
Yeah, basically, it's more grooming. There was a lot of people that was online dishing out some. You know what? Yeah, this is what I like. I like the fact that we're going after R. Kelly, but some people was just coming out with some wild
There are
statements.
people
about other
defending him, innit?
Some people were defending him, and then some people are scattering everybody else. So Jay-Z's in the crosshairs now as well. Who else was in the crosshairs? Like a lot of people. Because apparently somebody said that Jay-Z and Foxy Brown had sex when she was too young, even though both of them have denied it.
Jay-Z had sex with Foxy Brown
Right, yeah.
before she
was
was
of
legal,
age.
yeah?
Yeah, because remember in 8, I think she was 8, no, she's about 15, 16. When she
When?
did that song.
Well, when she come out with that tune.
Yeah, she's young.
No way.
She's young in that song, but even Lil Kim when
No
she first
way.
started out, Lil Kim was still in her teenage years as well when Biggie was doing whatever he was
Nah,
doing.
I don't believe
And
that,
even
man.
the relationship that he has with Beyonce, I think there was talk about that as well.
Yeah, so the people saying that because he met Beyonce when she was really young, but he didn't do anything with her when he was really young. I think he met her, they chatted or whatever, but he didn't do nothing. I think she was still with that other boy anyway when she was still a
What's the
teenager.
age difference between them?
A lot. She's 30. She's the same age as me. I think like 36, 37, and Jay-Z's 47.
So
about
let
10
me ask you
10
this
years.
then. If
He's 10 years older than me, so he'll be turning
50.
50s soon.
so he says like 49.
December
Yeah,
4th
yeah,
is his birthday,
yeah,
so he'll be
yeah,
turning December.
So-
Yeah, so she's 12.
this
He's
year.
12 years older than that. Sorry.
So if you're a man at this is so basically what you're saying is that Jay-Z was I'm grooming like he kind of met this girl that he thought was cute at the time, maybe like 16 or 17, and waited till it was that it seemed okay,
socially acceptable.
yeah,
Potentially,
to kind of approach her.
Even in one of his own songs, he was saying that I saw you, but you was with a man, and then he messed up, and I can't remember what song it was, but he said he messed up, and then that's when you called me, and then I took him away. I took it away from him. Basically, I can't remember what song that is. It's either off the 444 or off their joint album.
Either way,
it's kinda-
Nigerian
it's
uncles
kinda
have been
deep.
doing this since the 80s.
exactly.
Yeah, but I don't think that they have. I think that they just
yeah,
go
yeah.
straight in for the kill, innit? Like some bastards, innit? They see the young one
brother,
and then they go in and then they marry them at the age of 11 and 12, innit?
Nah,
whereas
brother, I'm not talking about
whereas
that age.
certain grown men are grooming them at 16
I'm
and
talking
waiting
about
till they're
them-
21 and then taking them.
I'm talking about them house girl ones where they're pandering over. But yeah, so Jay-Z, I think Jay-Z and Beyonce started officially going out when she was about 19, 20 or something like that.
Serious?
Yeah, so he would have been 30.
Did you not know Foxy Brown was really young?
I didn't know that she was 15 when she come out of that tune, bro.
I don't remember. Well, you're saying 15.
She can't
About
have been.
15, 16,
It was very young, anyways.
Very young.
Yeah, Lil Kim and Foxy were young.
Very
when
young.
So obviously they were getting those songs were being written for them. But would you write something like that for a 15, 16 year?
We have to think of it like this, yeah? Nas, when he came out, was 18.
Yeah, I know that Nas and Mobb Deep were young.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think
And
Mobb Deep were like 14.
These Foxy Brown came out probably 97. Ain't no came out 96, 97.
Damn.
So she was still young. Jay-Z must have been about 20, because Jay-Z's older than all of them. He came out when he was about 20 something.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch your
I was
thighs.
gonna say something, man. I forgot. Yeah, this thing about the uncleisms.
Yeah.
And about how touching women, how we still do it in Nigeria and stuff like that.
Touch
I
it,
think
bring
it's
it,
a
babe.
cultural thing, because back here in this country they used to do that as well. I think every country did it. It's just culture starts changing with the times. So, like for instance, they're talking about gay people in Africa. Being gay in many countries in Africa is illegal.
Yeah.
It's still illegal. So in certain countries here now, they're saying they're going to withhold funding and all this and that. If we don't change those laws about being gay, then we're not going to give you any diplomatic funds. We're not going to help you with this or assist you with that. But in this country, it was illegal to be gay in our lifetime. In our lifetime. It's not like it's a long time ago. It was illegal to be gay in our lifetime. So it's only recently, some people, brother, you've only just changed your rules, and then all of a sudden you start sticking your finger out. Not that I think that those rules are good, by the way. I believe gay people, it shouldn't be illegal to be gay anyways. So that's a nonsense. But at the same time, it was a nonsense here 20 odd years ago when it was illegal for a man to kiss another man or a woman to kiss another man. Sorry, even after it was illegal to be gay, you couldn't do gay acts in public.
Yeah, for ages.
Yeah, and that was like much more recent. That's like 15 or so years ago, 15, 20 years ago.
Isn't it only over there that you could just get married as well?
Yeah, even then. Yeah, that's within the last decade. So it's just times are changing and different cultures are changing with the times at different paces. At different times.
Have you got any other examples of dictatorships having such input for the good of extreme minorities? Are there any other examples?
What do you mean by extreme minority?
Well,
give me an example of
the gay population of any one country is about 5%. Yeah, so they're an extreme minority.
Mm-hmm.
So the democratic Western lifestyle seems to ride very hard for this 5%.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is there any other examples where a power has ridden for a minority of that size?
You could say that people do it for black people in this country.
With who? I said government. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about a whole regime. I'm not talking about individual people or protesters. I'm talking about.
Well, if you talk about in the Western world, when they have affirmative action, when they have certain funds and stuff that they allocate for these people.
Yeah, but do they sanction people?
Schools do
they sanction people for not not abiding by it? Is what I'm asking.
Well, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
For like what though?
Well, they could if they're going to implement it correctly. It's like you need X amount of percentage of your new hires to be in this, whether it's women or to be black, and if you don't, then you're not fulfilling the criteria. I don't know what the punishment is, but I know there are certain rules.
You know, you're talking about within their own jurisdiction. I'm talking about externally. So, for example, you just gave an example that the African countries are being told that sanctions will happen if you don't change your. I'm saying, is there a same example where they're doing that for a minority, but it's not about sexual gender, it's about a minority for something else? I don't think there is.
I bet you somewhere along the line there probably is, you know. I bet there's some sort of war going on in the Far East where they're killing off some minority and people are saying because
tribal minorities.
Yeah, like it's some sort of some ethnic minority and there's some sort of war going on, and because they're mullering the minority, they're saying that we are not gonna fund you. We are not gonna we are staying away from you.
They do it for tribes,
governments, because
okay.
So stuff like that.
Okay,
so even when the thing was going on in was it the Hutsus and the Tutsis? Which country is that?
Rwanda.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of sanctions with Rwanda during the time when they were doing all that, because it was the minority that was getting slaughtered.
They do it. It's just that it's not as visible as it is with the LGBT community.
Right. Okay.
But the LGBT community is a large community.
No, it's not. It's
in big places.
It's 5%.
Yeah, but in the large, what I'm saying, you're saying you're 5% as you talk about people. I'm talking about in the community of what they are. So there will be a lot of LGBT people that are in important places.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So yeah, if black people were in important places, they'll do stuff for blacks too. If I don't know, green people are important for green people, they'll do things for green. There was ginger somewhere, they'll do stuff for gingers. That's just how it is, isn't it?
Foxy Brown is 40 years old, by the way.
No.
Yeah, and her first touchdown in music was 1995. So it is around about 15, 16. It's mad.
Yeah, see?
Mad thing.
All right. Did you all listen last week?
Yeah.
Not all of it.
I got told that we were like the Boris brothers in that documentary that came on BBC, Since You've Been Away. Simple.
Okay, so
who told you that?
Ross.
One of our Ghanaian listenership, I don't even know if she wants her name put out there, but one of our Ghanaian sisters. Big up yourself, she knows who she is.
What's the Bros on TV? Should I know what that is?
There's a documentary that the Bros had over the Christmas period.
No Brosses, yeah?
No.
When will I be
Bros.
famous?
flipping heck.
For those of you that don't know about Bros, like Mr. Wolf claimed, and I was looking at him like his
No,
man.
but I was thinking, you know, we are Niger boys. We say bros. Let's see there happen.
Bros.
But
Bros,
you know.
Bros. Anyways, so Bros was a band that was big in the
80s.
back in the 80s. In the 80s, but I didn't realize. I actually watched the documentary after they mentioned this, and I knew they were big, but I didn't realize they were that big. Yeah.
Bruv.
They were huge. Michael Jackson asked them to be on his tour, and they said no. We don't need you. What can you imagine? He said no. Like, we doing our own thing. What do we need to be with you for? And they were right. They didn't need Michael Jackson.
One of the brothers in Bros was in Blade 3.
Yeah. Are they still acting?
Yeah, one of them still acting,
Yeah, Luke.
and the both of them did the Craze. The Cray brothers. Was that them?
That's it.
No. Sorry,
No.
That's the one from Spandau Ballet.
Yeah, Spandau Ballet.
Those are the proper. Those are the real OGs, the real twin OGs.
Sorry. So anyway, Bros are twins. They were big in the 80s. They had a band with a third person.
Matt and Luke Goss.
Yeah, one of them was the lead singer. One of them was a drummer. They had a guitar
That's
player.
not who you are, innit?
All right. So the lead singer got all got
all the pussy.
some of it. No, because both of them. To be honest, it was the bass player or the guitar player that got none, because all they cared about was the brothers.
I didn't even know someone else was
Exactly, it was three of them. Remember the logo had three of them doing that.
Brother,
thing.
yeah.
No, I don't think it was a brother. I think it was just.
Is it just a bedroom?
I think it was a bedroom.
That's you.
Apparently, the lead singer, was the outsider. The drummer and the guitarist were looking for a singer.
That's what I'm saying. I'm the lead singer. You two started your
Can I
ticket.
finish? Can I finish? And they did an audition for singer, and the brother said, "Can I do it?" And they just ignored him basically until nobody came up. So he sung, and then obviously he's my brother, and so they just put him in the group, and that was that. He was a good singer at the end of the day. So that's how Bros was brought up. So he was the last member, but he was the most popular
member,
because you're the front person. But anyways,
That is not you, Allah.
they had some beef during their time, and then they broke up after like massive success. Probably at the height of their no, not at the height actually. They had like one top. Apparently, they had a number 9, and that was a flop for them.
Oh wow!
Because they went to number 9.
Yeah,
So anyway,
the charts back then was mad.
yeah, they were like, you have to remember back then you had to sell 400 to 500,000 songs to be in the top 10, like to get to number 1. That's what you had to sell to get to number 1. It wasn't you stream for a couple of hours, get your friends to stream it, and you get to number 1. So, but basically they had beef, and the beef has got worse and worse as they got older. It's not like, oh, you were young at the time, you were famous, and well, the older they're getting, it's worse it's getting.
Sound like the Gallaghers, isn't it?
So I watched this thing, and I was like,
They were the first Gallaghers.
yeah. I said, let me watch this thing and see what this woman is talking about. And I'm watching it, and I said, oh, I didn't realize they were that big. And I'm watching it, and then I see them going and pay. I'm like, we're not that like that. And then it got to about halfway through, and they were rehearsing for a comeback show, and then they had a beef during this rehearsal, and I was like, yeah. And what everybody else says about us, which is what I'm going to ask you guys in a minute, because if you heard last week, we argue a lot. And what everyone else said about us, I felt, wow. Because not only was it cringe, it was so cringe watching it, and it was like you were on tenterhooks. Me, I'm watching it. I don't have nothing invested in these people. I don't care. I'm just watching the program. But even I was like, please don't let it happen, please. It was soul destroying. And I thought, if that's
soul destroying,
because you're watching these brothers that clearly they love each other. Clearly you can see they love each other, but they're just going to argue. You can just see it. They're going to argue, and they're trying not to, and they're trying to at the same time. You can just see, and it's like, you can just see, just go down there, just say this, just don't do that. But you can see it, that it's like they can't stop themselves.
Was jealousy even play?
The drummer did say that he was jealous of the main singer because he got a bit more, but I don't think it was like a massive thing. But he did say, yeah, he got more
accolades,
yeah, than me.
Okay, so
that is gonna be my stabber says then to watch that Bros documentary, because it was decent. It wasn't like the best documentary, but it did that little bit, because the bits before and the bit after I don't really think is necessarily completely like us, but that bit there, just when they're rehearsing, so anyone that watches it is when one of the brothers walks out, that bit I would say, yeah, that is like us. And it was not nice to watch. It wasn't nice to watch. It was uncomfortable. That's the word. It was uncomfortable. So when people talk about us, and it's like, it's uncomfortable when you to do that. I don't feel like I don't want to be in the same room when you're doing that. I just want it to stop. I get it now. I get it.
Oh, the pin dropped, did it?
So yeah, because last week we said, do we care about what other people think when we're arguing? No. Yeah, but I don't care. But I can see why.
Oh, I get it now.
When you got a guest here, and then you start arguing and shit.
You feel sorry for the guest, didn't you? Like,
I don't really feel sorry for them.
What guest? There was no guest. It was just me and him.
No, I'm
we
saying
have
in the
guests
past,
here.
we've had guests in
And
the
you
past.
lot
and
argue.
you
I find
two
it
broke out
I
with-
find it mildly entertaining.
yeah,
I do.
in
I
their
do.
handbags, man.
But
you
I have
know.
a very, very warped sense of entertainment. So
Okay, so let's touch on a couple of the things that were said last week, yeah? Because
I hate you too.
a few people came in and said that we should have. I said it at the time that it would have been good to have somebody else,
a mediation.
a mediator, and he said no because they will chat rubbish, basically. Right?
Yeah.
But I still think they should be the mediator. And some people said maybe yourself or Mr. Wolf. I still think my sister would have been the best one because she's been there from the very beginning.
And because you listen to her.
yeah, both of us would listen to her as well. Agreed, Mr. Wolf. I also agree with that. So
No, she's wrong.
okay. But there was one thing that he said that I found quite interesting.
What's
and
that?
I'm gonna ask you guys now. He said that people that talk to me, what did he call them? Passive listeners or something.
Yeah.
Do you
Passive listeners.
I didn't
Basically-
say people that talk to you. This
I
is
said,
it's very
okay,
important.
people that I like or something.
People that you count, not they count you as a friend.
Okay.
The people that you count as your closest friends are passive listeners because they're happy to stop talking when you overtalk them. They're happy to.
Passive listeners of
yeah,
him.
Yeah, and when I say happy to, I don't mean, oh yes, please talk over me. I mean, they deal with it like, okay, you're talking, I was talking, you were talking, okay, I'll deal with it. And I'll just listen to you, what you have to say. Those are the people that you feel closest to.
Do you feel that that you have these attributes, all of you?
I accept you for who you are. So I don't know if I am a passive listener. I personally think that I'm very good with managing people well in terms of their different characters and personalities. So I wouldn't say that.
Not that I'm counting you two anyways.
But he asked me, innit? So
I don't know why he's asking you.
Because
Yeah,
I'll
but
count them as I'll count them as my close friends.
Because he's just asking, innit?
So what? So why wouldn't I count them as my close friends?
You can count them as what you want, but that's not who I was talking about. I don't, because they came, the people that, they came kind of like by proxy. I'm talking about the people that you have chosen in your life to be close to you, not people that are in your life.
I don't
full
have
stop.
to be around these people
came
unless I
by
choose to.
proxy.
But it's there because I'm there, innit?
Yeah, but if I didn't have, doesn't mean
I'm
that I
not
have to
saying that.
extend myself.
I'm not saying that.
If it
You don't
wasn't
have to-
for me,
I'm
he
telling-
wouldn't be here.
No, I'm telling you that the
I
people
come through you.
I am the
I didn't
Lord
say
Savior.
through me. I didn't say through me.
Christ.
This is my point. He's changing what I said. I said they're there via proxy. You didn't decide that outside of family, outside of friend, it's family basically. Outside of family, these people I want to be close
But
to.
then doesn't
You didn't make that decision with Mr. I'm talking about Mr. Wolf and the actor here. You didn't make that decision. They're here. Whether you want them to be close, you're not listening to what you're not.
I am listening to what you're saying, but that's almost anyone, though, isn't it?
No.
Well, if I'm put in a situation where I'm in school and I have to be around that person, then I kind of have to be around that person.
the Lord of Hellfire.
If I then need to make friends with them, fair enough and fine. But I still then kind of have to be around that person by proxy or whatever because they're there in it. So then I have to decide
is
whether or
part
not
2 of last
I want to
week's
be any.
episode.
No, this is not. We're not arguing here. We're having an actual conversation.
I said by family, so you're talking about other stuff, and it's got nothing to do with.
So only family you're referring to.
Yes, because outside of that, you go to work and you decide who you want to be close with or who you don't want to be close with. You go to school and you decide who you want to be close with, who you don't want to be close with. Yeah, I'm not saying you don't do that with the people that the family bring into your circumference.
Yeah,
but it's just different. So I'm talking about the people that completely isolated of your family. You have decided once and for all because all right, Mr. Wolf and that actor will be in your life whether you like them or not because they're in my life. True or false?
In my life.
I don't know.
Okay, because for me it's like I don't get that then. Like but all right.
Let him continue.
No,
though.
because all right, you two
asked me.
were groomsmen at my wedding, yeah.
Yes.
And it's my point is you're there because you're my bedrooms.
By force.
And he was my best man. You would be you're in each other's lives.
Yeah, but I'm
full
here-
stop.
But I'm not
whether you
choosing-
like them or not.
But I'm choosing to be with them every week now. So it's not even a case
You're
of.
not getting what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything to do with whether you chose them or not. You're going down that road. You don't need to go down that road.
Does this make sense to anybody else?
I'm saying the only people I am talking about are the people you chose independent of your family. So if you want to talk about these people, that's fine. But that's not who I was talking about. So that's fine.
Okay, so
You get what
Simple
I'm saying?
Simon then. So
that's what I'm saying, yes.
So it's him you're talking about.
Him
Basically.
and Rana.
But that's the only two friends that you know, really.
No, there's others. There's women.
And you think that one is a passive listener?
They listen.
No, passive listener.
Okay, anyway, but you can ask whatever you want to ask because of all the things, that's the one thing you want to talk about.
No, that was one thing I wanted to speak about. There's more stuff I wanted to speak
on
about,
then.
but you've decided that's all I wanted to speak about. But I was just saying because they're here now, innit? So that's something I was wondering whether they felt it was that way. And did they? And another, what was the other thing that I wanted to talk about beforehand? That you said that what was it? We were talking about, and then
How simple though? The
Wait,
question that you asked me.
What, is it a passive listener?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on then.
The interesting thing here is Wahala's conversational style is different when it's one-to-one to when there is more than one person in the conversation. So in a one-to-one conversation, all of the things that you see in the forum that we're in now, I don't see them.
Apart from when he's talking to me?
Probably when he's only talking to you, yeah.
Okay.
But outside of that, if I'm having a one-to-one conversation with Wahala, we don't have the problem of cutting and interrupting or what have you. I don't know if that's because we have very, very similar mindset. So some of the stuff that gets said, we set each other off. So we'll be talking and we're thinking the same thing coming towards the end anyway. But there isn't that same level of overlap. There's more overlap here when we're talking, when we're in groups, when we're talking, than there is in a one-to-one conversation. So I don't see it in that regard.
Very sorry about that.
Better be sorry.
Man's got the whole ringer here now.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so that's basically it. So from my point of view, it was interesting me listening because I know that when you said the passive listener comment, I was thinking, oh, that's interesting. Like, I can see why you would get to that conclusion. But then I thought about our conversation and I don't see it.
But you,
Yeah.
regardless of him,
Yeah.
are that person.
In what person? In what sense?
If people are talking, you fall back. You're not the person, I need to talk now. It's my turn to talk. You are, let me sit here and listen. I'll study.
But it depends on where this is what I'm saying. You're talking from what you know.
Okay.
I know him.
But he
and
can't,
I know
he can't talk for himself, innit?
Okay. But you're talking for him. So I'm
telling you what I think, and then he can say, no, you're wrong. Or he can say, yeah, I see your point.
Well, Hala was telling you what he thought as well.
But I can't speak because
but
whenever I speak is a problem.
I'm talking to Simple, and Wahala then starts talking to me.
But I thought you were talking in a group.
I just mentioned Simple. We brought up Simple.
Are you that type of person?
I
Simple?
said, personally, I think that's the way he is, full stop, regardless of you. Outside of you, that's the way he is.
I would co-sign that.
So if you're telling me, no, I'm not. I forget being, there's definitely you don't want to be center of attention. But you could say, no, I like to be in the mix of things. You could argue that. But I would say that's, from my experience, obviously I don't see you at work. I don't see you one-on-one with your missus.
So
from my experience,
with that said then, he is not a passive listener of Wahala. He is just himself.
You know, this is the thing, man.
Am I chatting shit?
I think we're so stuck on
No.
Wahala. I think
He's saying that the person's just a passive listener and that's who I pick to choose to be my friend because they're passive listeners.
All right.
And the other person that you picked is the one person that will clearly, when I'm talking to him, sharp.
That is true.
I'll just carry on chatting what he's chatting. So
is
no,
true.
you're wrong. You've just decided that because you've decided that about me.
I've made an observation.
Okay.
And if I'm wrong with my observation, then you could just say, I think you're wrong.
Okay, fair enough. I think you're wrong. I think that you, but I do think it's because you think I've got this.
Celebration.
Hulk smash.
How can anybody else? How can these people? Because you got this thing about how can anybody be your friend? I don't know. If you wasn't my brother, you wouldn't be my friend because I don't know how anybody can be your friend. And I'm assuming that you're thinking the only reason that these people can really be my friend is if they're this type of person.
I just wanted other people to comment on last week.
Okay, go on then. You control the conversation.
I don't want to. I wanted them to talk.
Yeah, but you have to ask questions.
I don't have to ask questions. I said you listened to last week. Talk about it. You were talking. They were talking, and then he said he wanted to ask that question, and he asked the question, and this is why we've gone on this tangent.
Did we get any further comments other than our lovely Ghanaian that listens every week?
Somebody, yeah, just a couple of
comments.
comments. Nothing major. Just that one, just because there was a documentary for me to watch and to study. That's why I brought it up. Everything else was, it's interesting. It was nice that you two talk.
I think because I know that your arguments aren't necessarily based in hatred, I find them wildly entertaining. I do. Like, I almost sometimes count down like it's going to happen any minute now. 5.
They're almost
4,
like the epitome of sibling rivalry.
Yeah, it is. It is civil rivalry in personified. That's what it is. And because I don't have that problem, well, not problem, I don't have that circumstance where I have that sibling rivalry. I like to see it. Again, like I said, I've got a warped sense of entertainment, but I find it massively entertaining, especially when the two of you start going off on each other. It's funny.
Can I ask a question?
You may.
Wait. Steph, can you ask a question?
He didn't put his hand up.
You can ask another question.
Alan Shearer style.
The Hitler salute. Go on.
Gaza. But because one thing I do find interesting in these types of conversations that we have is that Stav always believes that he's very self-aware of himself.
Self-aware.
And like he knows who I am and I know who I am and
Yeah.
this is how I act and he, I don't know whether he feels that I'm very self-aware of myself. I'm assuming he doesn't think I am as much as him. So you lot that's here now, do you think that he's aware of how his behaviors are seen and who he is?
No, I don't think he's aware of how he's perceived by other people. I think you have a belief that other people see you here when they don't actually see you here. They see you like there, trying to be there.
He said up and put me in the middle. So he thinks people see me. I think people see me up
higher than what you are.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Put it that way so people can understand. All right.
I think that Stavros has two entities that determine and dictate his conduct. Yeah. One of them is his ego, which I would say is actually separate from him as a person, and the two conflict. So his ego is partly his confidence as well, but sometimes his ego assumes that the rest of the world sees what his ego sees.
So you think his ego is the more powerful entity out of the two?
I would say it steps forward a lot of the time. So yes. In that respect, he then doesn't maybe understand or maybe even care how he's actually perceived by other people.
But was that the question of how people perceive him or how he sees himself?
Both, really. I think he sees himself in a particular way and feels that I'm very self-aware of how I am and what I am and what I'm doing and how I'm presenting myself. And I think
I would say that he knows himself well.
Yes.
But I think that he makes the mistake of assuming that other people know himself as well as he knows himself. So he understands his abilities. He understands the depth of his potential, and sometimes his ego uses the depth of his potential as a hard and real example of what he's actually doing. If that makes sense.
Do you think sometimes he thinks people should hold him in high regard, and if they don't hold him in high regard, he has to question, why aren't you holding me in high regard?
No, I don't think he questions why they're not holding him in high regard, and I think that might be where the problem lies. He says, if you can't see that I'm supposed to be held in this high regard, then you're nonsense.
Yeah.
And I would say that his ego does that.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So I wouldn't say that. So he's very aware of who he is, but I think the difference here is that other people are not as aware of who he is as he is.
Do you think he's aware of how his ego is though?
I don't know.
His ego is acts like a separate entity.
Yeah.
Is his non-egotistical self aware of what his ego is doing?
I think it's like Venom. Yeah. Where they kind of need each other. And where one is weak, the other one is strong and just steps in, and it does it. It happens in such a seamless way that it becomes difficult to identify the two as different.
Comes.
That's how I feel anyway.
I see where you're coming from. But what about Wahala?
We should do this for everyone, boy. Head about that. Keep going.
Exactly. What about me, though? Keep it so. Keep cutting in. What about me?
We're going forever, man. We're going forever.
But it's good though.
It is. I mean,
it's open therapy.
I mean, Stavros knows who he is, man. I think he's very aware of his strengths and weaknesses. It's just that when he does have his one or two shortcomings that he does have, maybe he's not so willing to accept that they are what they are.
Which is the ego.
I think that is.
What do you mean?
I think. Okay,
What do I mean?
I'm not willing to accept what is what.
Some of your shortcomings that have been highlighted in the past.
As in, I don't think what you're saying is true, or I don't think it's a shortcoming.
Nah, a shortcoming, not
both.
Nah, sometimes your brother will highlight some of your shortcomings, some of the things that you will do that is wrong. You know, one example is when you are openly maybe rude to some people who you should not be rude to, and I don't think that you're as accepting of that. As a matter of fact, I think that you have done that in the past, and I think you will do it in the future.
I disagree.
I think that's a sense of him not liking to be corrected by his younger peer.
That I was coming to that. Okay. So I was gonna say I disagree. I think that is with what you've said. And I think that the reason why I'm disagreeing is because it's not so much about him not being able to identify the shortcoming. It's about who's telling him the shortcoming.
Where it's coming from.
Where it's coming from. If anybody else say it, he will give it more time.
I don't think, as much as I'm not going to say, yeah, I'm happy to be criticised by my younger brother, I don't think I just rubbish it just because he says it. So
I didn't say that.
He said last week.
I don't think I'll give it less time than anybody else.
I think you do.
He said last week that he treats me the same way that he treats. He has the same level of. What did he say? Something like, "You treat me the same way you treat everybody else."
I treat you the same way I treat my sister. Yeah, but that's the thing. You can think that. You can think that. I just get into it. I get. Okay. Anyways, he's looking around like
you rate your brother must be your sister.
Yeah, I don't underrate him, but that's the thing.
No, but do you rate him? Because you both of you openly express how much you rate your sister.
I'll be 100%. I'll be 100% honest. Yeah, I haven't really seen Stavros in the presence of his sister a lot over an extended period of time.
I can say the same.
Yeah, but what I can say is the time that I have seen him in front of her, you do not speak to your sister the way you speak to your brother.
I don't need to.
Why?
Because I can. All right, I can ask my sister's older than me. Yeah, I can ask her to do something a lot easier than my younger brother. My younger brother would not do something that my older sister would do. So I don't need to talk to her the same way I talk to my younger brother. So I get it that I don't talk to her the same. But for one, she's older than me, and for two, we have a different dynamic. So as much as we just don't. I don't argue with my sister.
I don't even think of my sisters. I think you treat me worse than everyone else in general. But I mean, you treat me worse than everybody in this room. Apart from maybe Webslinger.
If you were my
because
brother,
that's your wife.
If you were my brother,
apart from that, everyone else.
If you were my brother, I wouldn't talk to you. So I don't treat everybody else.
Wait, hang on. Wait,
you talk to anybody else.
Wait, hang on. Whoa.
You talk to
Hang on. Whoa. Let's get a bubble wheel.
I've said this all the time.
Slow down now.
If you say that again, if you wasn't my brother,
I would not talk to. I would not be friends with him if he wasn't my brother.
Okay.
What reason?
But yeah, he treats me the same as he treats everyone else.
That's weird as a thing. Like, what does that mean?
It means that
I love him. I don't like him.
Yeah.
So you don't have any siblings.
That's why
any brothers or sisters. That's why you won't get it. Because I get that. Because I used to get that from MG and my sister. If you weren't my brother, I wouldn't talk to you. If I see you on the street, on road, me and you would not associate.
You got cousins that you talk to because they're your cousins.
That,
I said that to an ex once before. I did. I said to her, if me and you weren't together, that I would.
And we spoke about this just recently. Yesterday, we were out to dinner and we spoke about a topic of.
Who went out to dinner?
What?
We'll go into that afterwards.
Bruv, yeah. I heard about that as well.
Nah.
But anyway,
it wasn't
fuck
him.
you and your flu, bro.
It weren't my thing, man. You get me. But anyway,
it's all right.
It was all about. Do you have to be best friends with your wife or your missus?
No.
You get me? So
you should have been there to back me up.
That's what I'm saying.
Only man that said it as well. No.
Because the whole idea was that, well, by some is that you have to be like that.
That's
it has to be your
nonsensical.
friend.
Put it this way: when I went around the table and everybody said, "Yeah, of course, I could," I said, "And have you married?" They said, "No." I said, "Okay, there you go." That's it. I never even engaged. No. Well, that's it. Then, isn't it?
You don't have to be best friends.
Go keep looking for your best friend.
No, I don't think so either.
I think a lot of people have that problem, and that's what, just like what Stav's saying now, that's why they're not getting married or not finding relationships because they want their best friend. You've got a best friend. Be happy with the best friend, or marry that one. If not, marry the person that you're here. You've got a best friend separate. You're a separate friend, wife, friend, wife. They don't have to be the same.
You're compatible, innit? It doesn't mean that you are bona fides.
What did you say?
I'm a co-sign Stavros. You don't have to be my best friend.
No, I just need to like you.
Enough.
Yeah, sometimes you don't. There's bare men that don't like their wife, you know.
Yes.
But those ones I don't get.
They love their wife, you know. Love her to death, but do not like her.
No, I get the ones where they don't have to be your best friend. That's cool. But like somebody said, you have to be friends with them. You have to like them because there are men that it's like they don't want to go home to their wife. They're finding reasons to go to the let me come on, bruv. Let's do something after work. Go home.
Yeah,
because after a while, some man's is like after a while.
You know what you're going home to. You're like, I'm gonna hear this. I'm gonna.
It's like they know they know their pattern. They know their partner so well. They know the pattern. They know what's gonna happen. They know when they're gonna be stressed. They know when they're not gonna be stressed.
This is what I'm like with you. So why would I want to be in a relationship?
So it's not a case of that. They don't like them per se. It's just that at this present moment in time, I don't want to be around them. And that's because they know them so well.
Okay.
So, but yeah, there's bare man that don't like their wife, boy. Look at Al Bundy and all them people there. They don't even like in them programs where they hate the whole family. They don't even hate the wife. They hate the kids. They hate everyone. But they're just there because they're just there in it.
You don't choose your kids, innit? So the kids might come and you don't like them. But you chose this person to spend the rest of your life
you
with.
chose them at a particular point in their life.
Yes.
So when you marry this person, you like that person that you married. 15 years down the line, they might have changed from being a freaknik woman to now being a godly woman that only goes to church every single night, and you don't like church. They might have gone from the church woman to the freaknik. You know what I mean?
One of the dudes on the table said, "Yeah, my woman must dress like a whore." He said, "Why?
What table is this? And why was I not at this table?"
A slut or whore.
Yeah.
People are like, why? It's like, because then that's what I like. That's what makes that's eye candy in it. That's what I like to look at. So if we get together and you start dressing all frumpy, then I'm gonna start looking at the girls that dress like the way I like it.
No, I'm sorry, but I'm somewhat insulted by the fact that I wasn't at this table. Fuck you both.
It's nothing to do with me.
No. It was.
It's not even really to do with him.
Yeah. So.
But you had the.
My wife and daughter were there, so.
Oh, you had the means.
I'm my nephew, actually.
You had the means to send out the beacon.
No,
it's your friend, you know, bro.
Not really.
You know what?
It's early. It's 2019. I've seen it. Don't worry.
I had no means to send out any beacon.
Don't worry.
The flu had you.
But there's been a WhatsApp group for about a month now. What, a few weeks?
Oh, wow.
This guy trying to throw me in it.
Wow.
They ain't even like that.
That's all right. Anyway,
Fucking Liverpool supporters.
That's how they start 2019 anyway.
But you know what? You said that. I
can't trust your friends, bro.
I'm going to have to put my hand up because you said that you couldn't throw out the beacon. But the only reason my nephew was there was because I threw out the beacon to my sister and my brother-in-law.
You see it there? He decided
But
which
you
one
can
he
throw out the beacon to anybody else.
But we are treated as equal.
It wasn't my choice. It was my wife that said the kids of my sister and my brother might want to go, so let's holler at them. Now,
I personally wouldn't do that. If someone has invited me, it was like a birthday dinner, and it wasn't my birthday. Clearly, my birthday.
It wasn't the dinner party.
No, it was a birthday kind of celebration thing. So if someone is celebrating,
all the while they want to take your place. The
backstabbers.
If someone's celebrating their birthday and they invite me, I'm not inviting someone else.
But it's a public. It was a public place.
What kind of Nigerian are you?
That's just me, innit?
You part-time Nigerian.
In this kind of place where it was,
you're not Yoruba, you're Yoruba.
Where it was such an open space. It was a communal games place.
I don't care if it was their house.
So they can the people didn't have to interact with them at all. They could do their own
you
thing.
know that I do my park thing for my birthday,
Mr. Wolf.
When the weather is
all
good.
I'm gonna say is
if I'm inviting a few people, if I invite a certain man and then they just invite maybe 4 or 5 other people that I don't know, I'm not gonna have an issue with it, but I would kind of expect them to say, "Can I invite other people
to the park,
bro?
The park
What are you talking
my
about?
birthday celebration. You can invite people to the park, but don't come.
You
because
know these men that weren't invited.
Partly because I'm investing money in it. I'm buying drinks, food, and all these things.
Yeah, but I'm not expecting my man to come
to
empty-handed though. Still,
I would never stop.
Well, this is the thing, innit? So yes, it is an open place, but
I would go to somebody.
if I'm doing that, well, when I do the thing next year, more time
You're gonna be on your own.
people ask me, can I invite other people? And I will say yes.
I ain't asking you nothing.
Well,
Unless it's somebody that's got to do with you, I ain't asking you nothing. I'm just bringing a man there. So if it's like somebody
but I trust
if
you,
I know somebody that you may not want to see, I ain't gonna. I would say to them, boy. So said to me, they want to come still.
I think it's different.
Sticky one.
I think
still.
it's different. I think it's different when it's in your inner circle. But if it was kind of on the outer skirts of your circle, then maybe not.
Just know that if you invite me to one of your people sing, I'm coming there and I'm shitting in their toilet, right? So no problem.
Just to defend myself,
And you'll piss
I spoke to the person in question beforehand. Not that I actually asked any
I don't know
permission.
what Nigerians are you lot, man.
But I spoke. I didn't speak for permission.
What type of food was
just
it?
spoke.
What type of food was it?
They went to my favorite Turk as well. Went to my favorite Turkish.
They went to the Kalish as well. All right, cool. Safe. It's on the ends, yeah?
I didn't even know when you came back though.
on the bits.
Simple.
That's all right.
Yeah, you left and came in silence, bro.
Man just left and I didn't even know when you come
Bad
back.
boys
I don't know
move
when
in silence
you
and violence.
I was Nigeria anyway.
Yeah,
bro. I
let's
didn't even touch
segue
on
into that one. That was a nice, bro.
You get me?
Nigeria was fantastic.
How long was you there for?
Man didn't even get any tan on nothing, man.
What do you mean?
You are quite.
You didn't even send
You're
no
like lighter than when
pictures.
you went.
No pictures, no video. When Stavros was there, he went here, he went
my
there,
God.
he sent video, he went this and that, and
Sorry, just to touch on this shaded a bit because we're here. Have you seen the video that's going around Twitter about white singers that people thought were black?
Yes.
Oh my God! Have you seen it? Have you seen
No, I
it?
haven't
So they got all these singers. So they got Bobby Caldwell. They got Snow. They've got Malcolm McDonald.
Just let me play it,
Right?
man,
They
in
got
the
all of these
background.
songs. Yeah.
so they know that they're white.
Well,
but
they know
was
that they
taking
were.
the piss.
No, they didn't know they were white. Because some of the people didn't know they were white.
Snow.
Bobby Caldwell.
Yeah.
Caldwell.
Yeah.
So most people didn't know he was.
Malcolm
he was
McDonald,
white.
enough people didn't know he was white either. And then you hear it, you are not alone. And Michael Jackson pops up.
But Michael Jackson in the video where he looks the whitest of
Oh
white.
my day, I was almost crying.
He looks like he's been baptized in cocaine.
boy.
Cocaine.
So sorry, back to the night.
Yeah, Nigel's good, man. The Nigel was good. I was out there for like better part of a month. It's good, man. I don't know how to. To be honest with you, the biggest problem I had was the adjustment when I came back. You go somewhere, you see nothing but black people for a whole month, and then you come back and then there's white people there talking to you anyhow. You're just like, why? What's going on here? So that adjustment had to happen there still. But no, it's good, man. Nigeria's bustling as always. Lagos is busy as always, but
Lagos.
it's good, man. What I would really like is for all of us lot to just go there at the same time, and actually just destroy the place.
Well, like everybody went to Ghana.
Who went to Ghana?
Everyone.
Is it?
Yes. Why you was in Nigeria? Everyone else was in Ghana.
Everyone is in Ghana at the moment. I was gonna let you finish saying your Nigeria thing before I segue onto that. So
No, it was good, man. I went out there for
Christmas and New Year's, yeah.
it was no. I came back just before New Year's.
Oh, is it?
Man
Yeah.
came back in silence.
Damn.
Yeah,
You-
bro.
He didn't even tell me he was back.
Yeah, you truly came back in silence.
No, you got to
Bro,
do
I've
that.
been,
was
I've been
Christmas
reading
out there,
the 50th, was it the 50 Laws of Power, whatever it is? Or,
Yeah.
Bruv, that's you, man. Because all of that stuff, I'm thinking, this is simple. That's simple. That's simple. This bastard, he's been doing it on purpose.
Tell us about the beach parties and all these things, man.
I didn't go to. I went to the beach. I didn't go to any beach parties. I went to the beach. It was a mad trip because went for my grandma's 90th birthday.
Respect to
You know, like that.
Yes.
She did
Mama.
She did 90 wickets on the innings or 90 innings or whatever you call it. So yeah, we went to go and celebrate with all that.
We call that the N'Golo Kante, boy.
You know, like that.
She did the full 90
She did the full 90 minutes, boy. So yeah, we went to go and celebrate with all that and, you know, do as you do. So went about a bit, went over to Lekki, round the Sherry, round...
You went to other states as well.
Yeah, well,
Did you go to the village?
yes, I went to the village, boy.
What's the village women saying these days?
Hey, I can't... See, this is the thing now. My village, yeah, the way it's set up, I can't look at any of the women in the village because they're actually related to me.
Them ones.
Quite
there, boy.
literally.
Them
So,
incest there, boy.
so basically... When I came with my missus, obviously the man them in the village is looking at, you know, like that.
Which one is this again?
Yeah. Hello, how are you?
I touched this one.
Yeah, but they
I don't
can't.
think so.
Yeah, they can't. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. So yeah,
you
man,
went to Benin.
yeah, we passed through Benin and that as well. Like it's on the way to my village. My village is it's a mad.
Did you go to the island?
Yes, I went over to Lekki Phase 1 and all that. Stayed over there for a bit. Like Nigeria's doing bits, you know. Anybody who is anxious or is on the edge and doesn't know whether they want to visit Nigeria or not, I'm telling you to go. Definitely, without a doubt. Anything that you see here, you see there, except electricity. But anything that you see here, you see there, definitely. Even when I was over Lekki sides and all the rest of it, the electricity wasn't too much of a problem. Nigeria is nice right now. Nigeria is nice right now.
Can we talk about what you got for the Monday?
Oh, yeah, what? Cool.
Okay. How often, we're talking about the listeners here and even the guys here, how often do you, man, buy things for each other? I'm talking about guys. Girls always get things for girls, but guys, do we openly spend time think, you know what? The man them are like this. Let me get this. And that's why I'm so appreciative of what he done.
I'm going to put my hand up and say that there's one person here that whenever they go abroad will try their best to give somebody I don't know about you, man, but they give it to me. That is the actor.
Okay.
He has given me many gifts. He's gave me one fertility thing that I've got in my kitchen. He gave me something from Egypt that I'll keep on my keyring. So when he goes on abroad, he does tend to get me something. I don't know if he gets you man something, and if he doesn't, haha. But he gets, but he gets something from me.
Basically, Simple Simon got the other 4 members. He's got one himself, a Africa
pendant,
the outline of the African continent with black metal beads. I think these are some kind of stone. I've got one that is a bit longer. They're wooden. It's wooden, but this one is shorter in length and it's nicer. You know what I mean? It's come from back home. So yeah, large up yourself. Simple Simon.
Yeah, but is it something? Okay, let's make that a topic though, because we could step to it. But is it something that man them should be doing more often? I don't think girls do it as much though. To be honest,
I think girls do it all the time. You always think, maybe girl, you like this.
Or maybe my missus tends to try and look for things when we go on holiday, but I don't know if she's necessarily looking for her friends. But is it something that men should do for other men? Is it something that you think as a manly thing, or is it when you're picking up, you're like, what am I getting some of these fools for?
I think some men may feel that it
is it gay?
Yeah,
that's what they want to say.
Their masculinity diminishes a little bit if they start thinking about the man them and getting gifts for them.
I don't know. That's a bit.
Not in our circle, man.
I don't get that.
In my circle.
I just don't care enough about you about all that. So.
Oh shit. Okay.
For me, I just want everyone to share whatever experience I've had. So I'll bring something back just so you guys can say, yeah, my boy went there and brought this back for me. So
and you've been abroad more times than anyone else, right? I think.
Been abroad a bit. I'm not a double agent or anything like that, bro. But yeah.
So you're a double agent, yeah?
I'm not, bro. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I will say, but I haven't forgotten. I did bring you a little something back from Bali, but I have to give it to you at a later date.
I didn't even know you went Bali.
You know, went Bali.
Oh yeah, you went. Oh yes. I remember.
Why
you
can't
went
you give
Bali.
it to us now?
Because it's in South Africa at the moment.
I'll see. Say no more.
Cool.
Yeah, man, he gets us gifts, man. I don't think about none of you blacks when I'm on holiday.
said I don't, but the thing is, I don't want nothing from none of you when you go away. I appreciate it when it's there, but I just feel like when you're away, just enjoy yourself, man. Don't think about nothing else, man. Just enjoy yourself.
No, I enjoy myself, but I'm like, cool. I'm sharing the enjoyment. At least,
of course, your
I've been somewhere and I want you guys to experience or have at least a trinket of that place.
Yeah, that's what the YouTube, the WhatsApp videos there for.
Yeah, that's a minor, but at least something tangible you can hold.
I want to go to these places myself. For me, it's like when I'm got the money. Then I'll take.
Yeah,
and we'll go
that
together.
Inspires you to go as well, or then we all go together at some point.
Oh,
I used to do this. I used to buy stuff for people, and then I realized,
never that.
like, what am I doing? Because the thing is, I have to, because I actually put thought into the things. So then it's like I'm putting way too much thought into this when I'm meant to be doing something. Because I don't go on holiday and just sit down and then just go to the gift shop and just pick stuff up from the airport and go. I'm running around looking for things that people might actually like and appreciate. And then I realize I don't want to do that when I'm on my holiday.
Sometimes it's nice though, because what he got me, I would never get. So I'm glad that he got it.
Never get for yourself.
I
never
just
for
want
the
to
rest
get
of
it.
us.
You got longer beads than me, man.
No.
Blessed be the man.
Yes, man.
Your neck is thicker, that's why.
How can my neck be thicker than yours?
Because you've put on that weight.
Luther Ringo. So, you enjoyed Nigeria?
No, Nigeria was good, man.
You brought gifts back.
Nigeria's good.
Any plans to go back soon? Oh, sorry. How did little one like it?
This is her second time going. The first time she went, I won't say unfortunately, I did it very, very deliberately. The first time she went, she was about 9 months old. So
You did it before 1.
yeah,
Must touch home.
she must touch home, but like her memory of it isn't what it was. But this one, also because she had one of her other cousins over there who's going for the first time now. Yeah, so the two of them,
Roll
like
deep.
5 and
Let
4.
me show you what's good, yeah.
No, them lot were rolling deep, something mad. It
yeah,
was
that would be good.
They were so beautiful to watch them. Like, it's like they created their own world between the two of them, and they were in Nigeria at the same time.
They merged the two.
So it didn't matter what was going on; they were just having their own fun. And then it's when we touched the village that I knew. Come out the bus, and one of them was like, "Is that a chicken?" The other one was like, "It's a chicken." And they just started chasing the chicken, the two of them.
That's just Africans though, isn't it? That's their bloodstream.
Just
Chase the mint.
immediately. And it's just like, they just had no problems. And because they're that young age and they keep moving, mosquitoes didn't even get to bite them because it was good, man.
That's blessed, man. That's blessed.
Yeah, I loved that. That was the thing that I loved the most. I sat there and I watched them two play with each other, and it was just something. They made dance routines. They come out, everybody, watch this. And they see them do dance routines or whatever, and then they run off and go and do something else. It was beautiful, man.
That is a very, very beautiful thing. Man. So whilst you're over there, there's a bunch of celebs and so-called important people in Ghana, just over yonder.
Like who? Like what?
Well,
I heard Precious was over. I'm not Precious. What's her name again?
Get Precious, man. That's what her name is. Cause I can't remember.
Gabriel Sinabay.
That's the one.
Who's the radio host that we were talking about the other day? Last week. Or the week before? Ebro was there.
What?
Idris Elba was there.
Idris,
Anthony
the blackish actor was there.
What's going on?
All right, so there's something called a Full Circle Festival. Yeah, or Full Circle Fest.
I think you call it Afrochella though.
No, Afrochella was a separate thing because what's her name? Lauren Hill was there to promote Afrochella. I don't think she was even a part of Afrochella. She was a part of this mock-up, this little market that popped up. A pop-up, what do they call it? Them pop-up things. So she started singing. I saw the video, just bare people around her. And she's like, yeah, are you going to the, what's it called? Afrochella next week. But I'm not sure she actually went to Afrochella. But anyways, so that happened at the same time. It overlapped. So we have spoken before about this woman. What's her name? Let me get it.
The woman.
Bozoma St. John. Do you remember her?
I'll have to see a picture.
You remember her definitely because she's the woman that she rose to public prominence when she joined Apple.
Okay. Yeah.
She was part of Pepsi and then she was part of Beats.
Okay. Yeah.
She's a Ghanaian. She does like public stuff or something. I don't know, but she's a businesswoman. Yeah. And then once Apple bought Beats, she now became part of Apple. Yeah. And what Apple did is every couple of times a year they have their thing where they talk about their products and they try and promote diversity on stage. So they try and have women and people of color on their stage. That's the term I'm using. So I'm sorry if you don't like it. I can't figure that better. And so she came on stage and a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I remember.
She wowed. Everybody was like, because we watched, me and Simple Simon and a couple of other people, we watched this where Apple
keynotes,
we're digital people. So we were watching this live and we were like, who's this woman? Because she's blazing it. Yeah. She was wicked. And you go on social media, everybody was saying, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? That's got Apple Pop It. Yeah, it was that big that it's like, who is this woman? She come out of nowhere and she's just like a ray of sunshine during this keynote.
Yeah.
Because the keynotes are very, let's be honest, the keynotes are very boring. It's usually
very boring.
Yeah, man. No, and we usually old white men or young even white men that are very monotone and try to be exciting, but they're not really exciting.
I agree with the monotone thing. They talk like this because they're trying to explain something to you. So these are the products that we have now and this is what it does.
Oh my God.
And isn't that great?
It's got a button.
Wait for applause.
Yeah. It's got a button, people. Yeah.
Hey! But she came on like I'm that girl from California. Like let's go. And she was just a person, and it was wicked. And it was like wow. This person is such a great acquisition for Apple. Anyway, she went to Uber later on, and then she left Uber now for another smaller company. But I think because she knows her worth, she's building her worth. But the thing is, she and Boris
Kodjoe. Yeah.
Kodjoe. Is it Kodjoe? Is that how you pronounce it?
Kodjoe.
They are two Ghanaian Americans, and for some reason now they've taken it upon themselves. They're prominent in their own little world. So one in the business world, one in the celebrity world, and the two of them have started this Full Circle Festival thing where they're trying to get black people from America to go back home. In this case, specifically to Ghana. As I've mentioned before, Ghana has this policy where if you are from the diaspora and you have no residence outside of, inside Africa, you're welcome to come to Ghana and claim residency here. We'll give you your passport. I don't know what stuff you have to go through to do it, but you can become a Ghanaian resident. So I think this is all part of this thing now. They're pushing, come back, put your money, put your resources, put your knowledge, put your education back home into Ghana. One of the things you mentioned about when you came back from Nigeria and now you see white people where when you're over there it was just all blacks, was I was seeing videos. So if you put in Full Circle Fest, use the hashtag, you'll see all the videos and stuff on social media. And some of them was just like, it's strange to be in America and to be here and just like there's only black people, they don't judge you for the color of your skin. If they're going to judge you for something else. I don't really get that when I come back or when I'm over there. I don't look at it like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But that's what people are saying. They enjoy themselves. The one thing I will say is, for people that haven't been to Africa and haven't been back home, you're going to watch these videos and can be like, wow. I just want you to know there's a very, very difference I can talk about West Africa because that's what I know, between affluent and regular, because there's a massive gap. There's not even regular. There's affluent and there's not affluent. And the affluent side of West Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, if you have money, you will enjoy. I'll just put it that way. So that's the side that you're seeing. You're seeing the people that have money enjoying. Go ahead.
Okay, just to touch on that topic, I spoke to one of my boys in Ghana. He must have messaged me to say Happy New Year today. I was like, Happy New Year back. And I said, oh, did you go to this thing? If it was in front of me, you would have laughed in my face and said, that's not for us. That's for the tourists. I said, what do you mean? He goes, you think that any of us can afford to go there?
Wow.
He's like, for the events, it was like $70. US dollars. Who's got $70 US that live in Ghana that's not doing bits?
That's a monthly wage for some people.
That's more than a monthly wage.
Exactly. So it wasn't for the Ghanaians. It was literally for the tourists to come over to Ghana to enjoy Ghana, which I don't actually have a big problem with. But, you know,
it's another form of gentrification.
Do something for the people that's there, innit?
Negro gentrification.
Even if they let out like 100 tickets for the community around, innit? I don't know if they did.
You don't know what they did.
Yeah,
So I don't know if they did.
Yeah, but that's to suggest that there ain't no rich Ghanaians over there.
No, the rich Ghanaians can go, but the rich Ghanaians can go to America as well.
Yeah, it's like what Steph says.
Yeah,
There's
but
a
it's for
difference
the
between the
people that are
affluent
there.
and the non-affluent.
Yeah, but the affluent Ghanaians there would have gone, innit?
Nobody's disputing that. But
Yeah,
the
but
everyday
non-affluent,
Ghanaian couldn't.
yeah.
That's the point.
You give everyday Ghanaian a ticket into there, there'll be a Zonto in when they shouldn't be. It's just you've got to keep law and order around there, you know.
But it's not.
But I hear you,
I don't think those things are for the tourists though.
No, they are.
That's what he said, blatantly.
Because they do a lot of they do a lot of those events in Africa, whether it's
No, but Mr. Wolf,
South Africa,
Mr.
West
Wolf.
Africa.
I don't mean to thingy bob you, but when there's a way to segregate people. You can either say, yeah, don't come, or you can make it practically impossible or improbable that somebody will come. You charge $70 for a ticket. Even I have to think about whether I'm going to pay that. $70.
But there's a different class of people even here. If you charge a certain amount of money for something, you know that there's a certain standard of people that are going to go.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So the point here is they were priced out quite deliberately.
I think the maybe like we could say maybe the mainland people, if we're talking about Nigeria, maybe the mainland people were priced out. See, this is East or North London here, man. Flipping it.
Just talk your thing, man.
I'm just saying, man. There's noise outside, innit? Maybe the mainland people were priced out, but the island people are not priced out because there are rich Ghanaians or rich Nigerians that will openly just throw their money at the thing.
Yeah, but then
it's not just for tourists.
No,
though,
but it's segregation by finance because
there is segregation, but it's just not for the people that are just
no. But the reason
not
why you
from
say
Ghana
for tourists because those people that are on the island, those people are on the island in the Nigerian case you're talking about, mainland and island. For those that don't know, there's mainland Lagos and there is island Lagos. There is literally water between the two. I think it's the River Niger that goes between them, or Niger, one of the two. But either way, those people that are on the island are not only are they affluent, but they're also in a lot of times they're expats themselves. So if I price to include those people and not the people on the mainland, I'm not doing this for the locals. I'm doing this for a certain set of people. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
It was for the tourists, man. It was blatantly for the tourists. And the fact is, a lot of UK people was there as well. Like, not celebrities, just normal, everyday Ghanaians that go there anyway.
Ghana is popping for Christmas and New Year's. Many Ghanaians.
Always
popping
from long time. But so is so
Nigeria's
places
popping.
as well.
Listen, I know more Nigerians than I know Ghanaians, but I know that when the Ghanaians go home, I know of it much more. That's what I know.
Let me tell you this. When I went to Nigeria and at Christmas and New Year's time.
Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. When we went there at Christmas and New Year's time, I went to church and I just started seeing London. I was like, we did it. I saw so many people from London. Like, yeah, man, it's Christmas time, innit? We come home. I don't think Nigerians scream as much as Ghanaians that they go home.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
We don't have to scream.
I tell you what though, I'm going to give you some disturbing news. I got to go to Ghana, man. I got to go, man.
Yeah,
it's happening.
Listen,
it's happening. What do you mean? Why? They're next door, man.
You've got to go.
I've got to go there next door, man. I got to go, man.
I think you should all go there.
Yeah.
I just don't think you should go there before you go to your own. That's all.
Yeah, I'm going to Ghana, man. I don't know if I'd make it this year. I got to go back to Nigeria this year. But it won't be like a holiday.
Where did this come from?
Got some business to do. Huh?
Where did this come from?
What, with Ghana?
Yeah, leave Ghana in bottom to me.
You joker. I thought about it. Yeah, I got an ECOWAS passport in it, which means that the whole western side of Africa is mine to explore. What am I wasting my time for?
I think we should just take JJ Bola and go Congo one time, bro.
Yeah,
Togo.
Yeah, got to go to all them places.
I'm doing it though.
Touch Cameroon, maybe. You know what I'm saying to you? You got to do all them things, man.
I'm on this flex.
I'm on South Africa. That's for damn sure.
Oh yeah.
And if it wasn't for, we're going Cuba for my stag in a couple of months' time. Oh, in a couple of weeks' time, even.
Yeah.
Right. So
Cuba, boy.
If it wasn't because I thought Cuba was gonna be taken over by the Yankees, I would have gone South Africa. No long thing. That's where I would have gone. But I can't trust the Americans. I can't trust how they're gonna behave in Cuba. So I want to see all the old cars. I want to see how all the classic stuff looks. I know that if I go in a couple of years' time, it's probably gonna have Starbucks there. And then that's the end of me, man.
It's already changing, man. Because like the internet is dodgy there. So we're debating how we're gonna try and record because most of us are gonna be out there with how's this gonna work. It's usually because the internet is so dodgy there, it's like there's no chance. But the internet is slowly creeping, and potentially we might be able to send something down the line. But we'll see.
I'm thinking we should take the equipment. To be honest,
we can take We can take the equipment. It's not the recording that's the issue. The recording is not an issue. It's the publishing that's the issue. Because the internet is mad out there.
Yeah, well, we got to try taking it.
That's mad out there.
That's the other thing, though. Maybe in Nigeria, I didn't deal with internet at all. I had it. I got like mobile Wi-Fi hotspot and all the rest of it. I did not deal with internet at all. No social media, nothing.
No, but when I'm on holiday, I'm enjoying my socials the same as when I'm here.
The 1 or 2 times you man saw me say whatever I said, that was it. I didn't. And you know what? I'll be honest with you, and I'm not just saying this. I feel completely different. The level of focus, my focus has gone back up a bit.
That's for sure.
Don't worry, man. I'll come back down.
I don't feel the anxiety. You know, like the notification anxiety that you get as soon as you get a notification, you got to read it. I don't feel none of that. I was blissful, man. Blissful.
Do you all feel that?
You don't realize that you feel it.
When I get a notification, I want to see it. I don't know. I wouldn't call it anxiety. It's
all my notifications are off.
But I
turn them off.
What?
Hold on. Go on. Me what?
Maybe you don't have strictly notification anxiety, but I can legit leave my phone. If my missus knows I'm going somewhere or whatever, and I don't have to worry about her because I have to keep. I can legit leave my phone and do something.
The reason why I look at my phone for a number of reasons because he seems to think that I always look at my phone or
I'm always on your phone, bro.
Nah, I always, because my son is now 15 innit? So my son messages me a lot. So I look at my son.
I've known you since your son was 5.
Yeah. Even before what are you talking about?
Okay, before that.
Before that. But anyway,
and it made no difference.
I have 29 open chats on my phone. On the WhatsApp from different groups. I don't look at them, bruv. So it's from a selected few that I go to actually have a look.
Out of the 20,
my WhatsApp
I don't look at 4 of them.
My WhatsApp notifications are off.
Doesn't mean that you're not always on your phone.
You're
I'm not saying that I'm not always.
Well, that's
on
what
my
he's
phone.
trying to say because he's saying that whether or not you have notifications off or not.
I think
your notifications don't matter because you're always on your phone.
I think you have notification anxiety.
No.
I would.
There's people that I need to be in contact with at certain times.
I would say that you would be physically uncomfortable if you couldn't have access to your phone.
Because of my kids, yeah.
What if your kids were with you? No, they're gone. They're in another country. They can't contact you. They're on holiday. They're on a school trip.
Then I'm fine. I get messages. I get people call me like, "Don't you look at your message?" Like there's some people like I've messaged you. If I'm expecting a email or I'm expecting a message from a certain person that I've had a conversation with, then I will go back and forth, and I may actually be going back and forth with that person for quite some time in a conversation on WhatsApp. But in terms of that group, this group, or that person, this person, no.
Okay, so we voted a while ago that we don't use our phones on the podcast. I've got mine open because I'm searching for this and that.
Yeah, but you know that I go on my phone sometimes.
So 1 a.m.,
to do
1 a.m., 2 a.m.
things.
when we're recording, and your children, I'm assuming, are in bed, and there's nothing to look at, and you cannot put your phone down. I'm just gonna say, yeah, of course, it's to do with your children.
Let me ask you.
I don't go on there for chat purposes. I'm not chatting to someone at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Doesn't make a difference. You're still on your phone, bro.
Like I said, yes, it does make a difference.
WhatsApp. You've just focused on WhatsApp.
No.
We're talking about phone.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not on my phone till at 1 o'clock in the morning whilst we're doing a podcast just looking at random things. Like I done a little bit of research on the Foxy Brown thing. You spoke about the Ghanaian woman that was on that was working with Apple. I had a look at her.
You better be careful what you say to
the
me.
image that you're portraying out there is that I'm some guy that is always on his phone and that can't deal without it.
You're
I'm
a phone.
telling you,
You're a phone junkie.
and I'm telling you that that's not the case.
You're
If you
preying,
can't
bruv,
accept
you're
that,
preying.
if you can't accept that, then that's fine.
Man was
You've
in-
openly mentioned like WhatsApp. I say that I'm on there for specific reasons.
You snort messages.
So messages.
I got
Can
I got so many chats out. I don't even look at
Can
them.
I ask you, man, a question on this phone thing now?
You can ask another question. Go on.
Do you, man, if your woman had your phone in your hand, do you feel anxiety that she's got your phone in your hand and it's open and she's doing something with it?
No. Oh, doing something with it. No. The only issue would come is in the WhatsApp group that we are all in. That's the only potential issue that you people are gonna send a message that she might see, and it might be bad for you or it might be bad for me. But that is the only issue. There is nothing else.
Yes. What about yourselves?
I'm just thinking. I don't. My woman doesn't touch my phone.
At all? Not for anything.
No.
So you don't show her anything on her phone?
But if she did,
Does she know your password?
No.
Does anybody else's woman know their password?
No.
Mine knows my password, but she just says, I don't want your password. I'll forget it anyway.
She don't even live in the countries. She don't exist.
Yeah,
It's not the same.
I don't really have that problem.
no, she hasn't
Mine
got
knows
it.
my password, man. We know each other's passwords. Just, I open her phone if I want to all the time, and vice versa. If she needs to do something on my phone, she'll just open it.
I don't have a problem with somebody knowing my password. Is if you ask or you want to know it, then I don't want to give it to you. Can I be like, why do you need to know? That's my type of thing.
Okay.
But
It's like I've got the same password as my son. So if my kids need to get into my phone for any reason, then they can get into it.
boy. Yes. But
Like the thing is that when you
just
guys
remembered who said it.
yeah, no, but the thing is that when you
What's your daddy's
guys
password?
like the ones that have children, when your children grow up to a certain, because you've mentioned a few things in the past about, oh, but you don't know that. When you actually have that relationship with the older child, when the child is like 13, 14, 15,
When you have a child,
then you will get to know that they will do certain things and they won't do certain things, depending on the personality of that child, innit? So I know that my son's not going to be go searching in my phone, doing, wondering and
we're not
going
saying that, man.
No. But you gave the impression that it's open to them, so they can go in anyway.
I've got the same.
And I'm saying that
No, but
they
I've got
respect me enough to
You don't have
not even do that.
notifications, so maybe that's not the problem.
Hold on a minute. I haven't heard it in a while, so can you just say your tagline, please?
As a father.
As a father, man.
So, because
I thought it was on my phone all the time.
my missus says that to me sometimes, like when she's got my phone, I feel like I'm anxious that she's got it, and I don't feel like I am. I feel like she feels like I am because she's thinking that there's something there and I'm worried about it. And I'm a bit like stuff. I'm never worried about anything that I'm doing at all. But I do worry about what could flash up on my phone sometimes. So even sometimes when I'm driving with a sat nav and I use my phone as a sat nav, there's times when things just fly across my phone. I'm just like, I don't even know what this means, what you lot are talking about, what this could mean, what this can't mean. I don't know what you're gonna say. It's like playing Russian roulette. One time I was at the barber shop and the guy was he wanted to watch the I think it was the Nigeria versus somebody game on the World Cup, and he couldn't watch it on the TV because ITV doesn't allow you to watch live stream on the TV, but you can watch it from the phone. So
ITV Hub.
So he put his phone up. The amount of messages from women that are not his wife flying on the
my
screen.
God.
I said, yeah. He goes, what do you want me to do? I want to watch this game. But man, girls were just flashing up on his phone, man. I was like, wow.
it's mad actually. I found as you were tidying up your old room in the yard, my dad came down with two of my old Blackberries. And I said, okay, and I took it off him. I said, oh, what's it in his room anyways? But anyway, I took it off him. I opened it. Oh, they got memory cards in them. So I took the memory cards out. Fortunately, I had the laptop with me, plugged it in. All these old videos and pictures, like wicked, and audio clips. And these phones were around. One of them was just completely before my wife, and then one of them was before stroke during.
That's what I'm saying. The other day I went through my phone.
Before, stroke, during.
You know what?
I like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's the before stuff.
You know?
The other day I went through my phone just to delete things. Oh no, I was searching for something. And the amount of stuff I had to delete, and I was thinking, if my woman looked through my phone, just look through the gallery.
Yeah.
I was like, you'd be like,
Gallery
why have you got all
alone.
of this stuff? And I'd be like, I don't. There's things in there that I don't even remember seeing in the groups.
For real.
So I don't even know how they're in my gallery.
Just today.
That happened to me as well.
Just today I was deleting stuff and it was like, I don't remember seeing... Who sent a 7-minute video about some woman talking about white people are trying to kill us? It was a 7 on like we're not dying fast
It's
enough.
the wolf, man. That's the
looking at me?
It's the wolf.
Well, somebody sent it to my WhatsApp.
It definitely wasn't me. What, personally?
No, it was in a group.
Or in the group?
My WhatsApp auto downloads.
She had
She had a Kente or something.
Yeah, I see the same
So
video.
who sent that?
I don't know because
It's Mr. Wolf, man.
I was doing the deleting as well, and I saw that with us.
Just today I was deleting. I was like,
Why have I got a 7-minute video in here? 7 minutes.
Do you know who it was?
a lot of
It was
space.
I think it was Topsy.
Yeah, he's another uncle.
There's another. There's
I
two.
think when they start losing their hair, that's when they start saying that. What's up?
well, you know what? The stuff she was using for proof is like, you just took this out of context just to prove your point. Delete.
There were two of them. There was that video, and then there was another one. Who was it? A rapper who was talking about. Who was it?
I think it was the Run DMC.
I think it was a Run.
That was sent ages ago,
like
man.
10 minutes. I was like, oh, Jesus.
That one was right.
That was a wicked
I
video,
even spoke about it on the podcast because I said that's one of the things that he sent that I actually enjoyed. I watched it from beginning to
But
end.
there's nonsense grease all over my phone. I'm like, why am I deleting that? I'm just like, what is this? Where did this come? I don't even know where they come from.
I turn off full auto download, so I will choose what I want to have a look at.
If you had AirPods now, you wouldn't have a problem.
What?
I just wanted to segue into AirPods because we have to wrap up. And I just wanted to mention that because you got shamed for having an Android phone the other day.
Yeah, somebody came
strange is that?
Which I thought was hilarious.
Bruv, I don't know. It's the kids, innit? That's what they come with.
Weapon.
Because you remember there was that beef thing with those girls, and the girl was chasing the other girl to go and beat her up. I don't know if he was in the country when this was going on.
I was out of the country.
Anyway, there was one
That
girl.
was jokes, by the way.
There was one girl that had argument online with some next girl, and then the next girl was live tweeting, chasing the girl down. Then she beat up one of her friends. Then she chased the girl to the house to beat up her at her mum's house. Like knocking on the door at 2:00 in the morning or something.
Was this America?
I didn't even see all of
Yeah,
that.
that all happened. Not here, man.
Okay.
And then it was going back and forth. The girl was saying how she got basically the girl started saying how all these UK artists have banged this girl, and she banged 4 men in a week, and she didn't know whether or not she had
You know,
chlamydia.
rubbish with context. These two were apparently friends.
Okay.
And they had a falling out.
As always.
And then one
she
of the
starts
friends
basically-
started exposing the other one.
Yeah,
So
you-
then I said,
Can't trust your friend.
I kind of said, look, I said kind of the friendship was trash, basically. I said the friendship is trash. Because for one, if you thought the girl was doing wrong at the time when you was a friend, you should have told them at the time when you're a friend that you're not doing the right things. Yeah. Why are you waiting until now it's a beef thing before you're saying that
You tweeted that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
So then the girl, that was one of those tweets that people started to retweet.
Yeah.
So one of her friends must have tagged her to see that I've said this.
Yeah.
And then she came and said, what did you say? Big man, you're speaking with confidence with your Android phone.
Oh, wow.
If you saw the confusion on my face when I read it, I'm like, I don't know if that's a diss. I don't know if it's if it's respect. I don't know what it was.
I'm confused at how she knew you had an Android phone.
Because when you tweet on Twitter, it tells you iPhone or Android.
Twitter, it says Twitter for Android, Twitter with an Apple. So it says
The only thing I like from the Apple people is iMovie. I think that's amazing, but everything else, I just think is fine.
Do you know what it is?
Like,
Well, we're old people. That's why we don't care.
The hell
It's like-
did that come from?
Do you know what it is? It's just
iMovie's wicked, man.
I think it's fine. But
iMovie's bad. Everything else, I think
I didn't do anything wrong, bro.
You know what I like from the Apple? Remember that floppy disk that they used to do?
Oh, you man, I'm talking about.
You remember cassette tapes?
What? Because I said Apple.
No,
Bruv, we started off there. I started off with the AirPods. We moved on to this thing, and he was specifically talking about the situation. And it's like you missed that, probably because you was on your phone. And you went right back to the AirPod thing, talking about you were on your phone, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Exactly. I rest my case. He kind of like he went back to where we started from instead of joining in where the conversation was. Yeah, it's just funny.
I think,
and it was quite poignant from when it just happened.
but so I didn't know that having an Android phone was officially a diss now.
it is.
So the reason I brought that bit in is because
This for the youths,
this
man.
AirPod thing is a mad thing now, apparently. Because AirPods been at what, 2 years nearly? 2 years more than that.
Nearly.
And it's like now all of a sudden to have AirPods means that you have reached some sort of status in life.
How much are they?
About 170.
You're the ones who know. For me, I just don't give a shit about all that.
Only people that don't have money would worry about something like that.
That's what the person that was telling me that. I already know they don't have no money because you probably don't even own the phone. You're renting it through line rental. That's what I was thinking. I could go get Android phone tomorrow if you want to go and pay £48 a month, £70 a month to go and thingy, or I could just buy my phone outright. Unless you bought your phone outright, don't talk to me because you're renting your phone. You're renting your phone.
That's what you should have come back with.
No, because I read it, and you know me as well. You know I like to come back. I just actually read it and I said, I'm too old for this.
Exactly.
I'm too old for this because all I was saying to her is, young girl, I don't understand what you're telling me. I don't actually know what you're talking about. But stop dissing other girls about sleeping with married, about telling them when you knew them.
Only someone young mentally or physically would say something like that. Or only someone young mentally or physically would worry about this AirPod business or just broke.
Is that how bad that the cussing has got now? That you can say, oh, yeah, you big man, that's tweeting me from your Android phone. That's a cuss now.
I judge everyone that liked it as well. I judge everyone that liked that tweet. I judge every single person. Because I like the fact you're liking this tweet means that you also agree that the fact that I've got Android. And the thing about this Android phone that's just as expensive.
They might like it because they think the beef is going to pop off and I don't want to be...
maybe. I don't know how it works.
In my circle.
But I don't know if it's meant to say because is Apple meant to be the most expensive phone that there is? There's no other phone which is more expensive than an iPhone.
Which is, cause I've got the iPhone 10s. So the bigger one is £100 more expensive. But I got the 512 gig one.
Okay, me looking floss. Go on, say how much it was. Bro.
I can't even remember, but I think it's 1,700 or something, or 1,600. That's what I spent.
£1,600 on the phone.
Like that, yeah. That's what I spent. So I bought my phone outright, and I had to sit there for a long time thinking, am I gonna buy this? Am I actually gonna do it? And then I did. Why are you looking around?
Why the hell would you buy a £1,600?
That's how much the phone costs. I would haggle if I could. But I'm
gonna get that the web sling away.
That's you though.
So, but yeah. So what phone is nothing costs that
What
much.
happened to the 419ers that used to get the things, man?
Remember back in the days?
Let me not talk
Back
about
in
crime.
the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore.
Some days I sit and wish I was a kid again.
There was always
okay,
a PlayStation for sale.
So always. Where's the
And
crickets?
games.
Yeah, but
There's a new
iPhones now, you buy
PlayStation
an iPhone and it's blocked in it.
PlayStation 4 is coming.
That's what you have to do off the cards, isn't it?
PlayStation 5.
It's coming out soon.
Good old jailbreak.
So £1,600 for one phone. Yeah. Okay, so I suppose that's what, and then the closest Android would probably be a Samsung.
And so the bigger one would be £100 more.
So the Samsung would probably be the most expensive Android you can get. That's probably about 900.
Not necessarily.
Yeah,
no. What's that Huawei phone?
That's not more expensive than
No,
that.
the Mate 20, the P20 Pro.
That's
is
you can get
not.
that for about 700.
Whatever.
And on the
But
10's
you can get other phones for £1,000 plus. Oh yeah, the Samsung. What's the big one? The Note. That the biggest one of that.
Yeah,
is
the Note
over
the Note
1,000.
9. Yeah, because
Who owns the Android company?
there's no.
Wait. Do you mean like who owns the internet?
No, Google, no. It's got
I don't know.
Alphabet on Google.
Isn't it?
Google
I
on,
thought it was like a software or something like.
Did you say? You said Google or Android?
Android?
He said who owns the Android company?
is Android. Google. They own it.
Thank you. I mean, fucking hell.
It's open. Open software. Anyone can use it. Anyone can just take it and use it.
Okay.
But you have to then pay Android some money. basically.
You are what they call over
so
40
there
to
is.
You can make an Android phone, make a phone, put Android on it, but then
But I have to pay.
kind
the
of
owners
you
of
have
the
to you would
patent.
have to have certain apps on it. So you have to have Google Mail, you'd have to have Chrome, you'd have to have but then you might have to give them a bit of change, and that's it.
To who am I giving change
To Alphabet, stroke Google.
So there is a company.
License-
Someone who
license-
owns it.
Yeah, license fee, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not asking silly
There's nothing
questions,
wrong
bro.
with that. It's just kind of like
man.
It's the way it came out.
Did I not answer your question? I didn't
Yes,
laugh.
you did. Everybody's laughing.
Yeah, they
man.
laughed.
They laughed
They
you're old,
laughed.
bro.
It's the way it came out,
You are
bro. It's the
old.
way it came out.
No, because
And
you didn't think that there was a company. And then-
Google owns,
and
Google
then he
owns
just-
Android.
So why didn't you just say Google?
Because I can't believe you're asking that question.
Fucking hell.
Listen, your sperm is soon dust.
Nah. I'm potent, bro.
All right.
I'll touch someone, they'll get pregnant. You get me?
Yeah, you
It's
only
the
have
one
two
that-
children.
All we are is
Right.
dust
So,
in the
let's-
wind.
Let's
No, they're ones that bust up their face and it's like makeups.
Geisha.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh wow, that is not a nice way to end the podcast. A nice way to end the podcast is to say that we're up for an award.
Oh yeah. Well.
You should have
So-
mentioned that in the beginning, really.
Well, you can insert it in the beginning if you want. You can actually do a little clip and I can put it in the beginning.
Okay. For those that don't know, there is a company called Screen Nations who give props to everything.
Who owns Screen Nation?
Who gives props to everything that is black and ethnic in film and entertainment,
media.
And then now they have a company called Screen Nations Everything.
Can I just put my hand up?
No, you can't.
He wanted you to just give him a clip, so at the beginning of the podcast.
Not now, but
okay.
at the end you can record a special.
Sorry. Yeah, apologize again, man. You get me? Okay, no. But anyway, Screen Nations. See, I've kind of lost my trail.
Screen Nation Awards has been going on for the last decade plus. It's a round day. Like it said, they promote and encourage and award black
people on
music, film,
TV,
and media.
And television.
So
small screen and big screen.
Yeah, we have been nominated for the
Screen Nations Digital is Media Awards
for the best podcast
and
2018.
And that award ceremony has been going on for only about 3 or 4 years, and we've been nominated.
Yeah, the digital one. The digital one is this, I guess, the sister award show, and that is relatively new, and we have now been nominated.
You have no enthusiasm in what you're like doing.
Nominees.
Do it then, bro.
For the Screen Nation Best Podcast of 2018. Eloquently Saying Nothing podcast is among the nominees.
Yes.
Go out there and vote.
Yes. Vote for us. So we've been doing this for a long time, boys and girls. We've been doing it since the 80s. We do say we're the pioneers of the UK ones anyway. So it's nice to be, recognised for us getting this award. So if you can go out and vote.
Well, we're not getting an award, we're getting a nomination, man.
Whatever, man. Nomination. No, whatever. Nomination, award, whatever. I would like for as many people as they can to vote for us. That would be appreciated.
You think we're going to win, Stav?
Stavros, you can no longer say, give me my accolades.
I think that I already tweeted that if we win, Stav's going to go up there and do that. He's going up there to do it.
Give me my accolades. I mean, not every time the best wins. And to be honest, without blowing up my own trumpet, I think that
deserve some accolades.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you would do.
Accolades.
That's what I'm saying. We deserve that.
Okay.
I think we're the best.
I bet my dude.
I think we're the best, but whether the best wins or not is another thing. But,
Send me that video.
I don't even care if we win or not. I just want to be recognized.
You just want to acknowledge the fact that we've been recognized for our craft,
which is good. So if we do win, no, I do care. Sorry, let me not say that. I do care to win. I would like to win, but if we don't win, I'll be happy with the fact that people have taken their time out to vote for us. I think that's a big thing, because whenever I came and I said there's people voting for us, I felt really impassioned about that. Because not many people go out to do, even simple clicks, people don't do. They don't do it because it's a bit of time in their hands and they don't want to waste, stuff like that. So the fact that people are going out there to click for us for this voting thing, I really do appreciate it. And I really do hope going forward that Eloquently Saying Nothing in 2019 gets bigger and bigger and we get what we deserve.
I
say we get what we deserve because I'm not necessarily saying...
Oh, wow. I don't need nobody to tell me. I deserve some accolades.
Yep.
Gangster.
I just think that, we've done what we needed to do. We've done what we've done for a long period of time. I feel that we give a good product. I'm not necessarily like these guys saying, nah, we're the best, blah, blah. I think we give a good product and I like our product.
It's the best, damn it.
Everyone else is the one that's going to vote for whether or not we're the best. So I'm just happy to hear it from the viewers.
Pick up the barbershop banter group, man. They have registered at least 4 votes so far. You get me?
Nice.
My wife is finally proud of me. No, she seemed happy that we got nominated.
Yeah, my missus has been going out there. She's registering, telling people to register, sending me to send her this, send her that. So yeah, it is nice to be. As I said, it's nice to be able to say to somebody,
to be recognised.
Somebody's doing something for us.
Because there's a lot of podcasts out there as well. Let's not forget that there's a lot of podcasts out there, and for you to come up as a nominee means that you've come up against your whole classroom. And you're being recognised amongst your whole classroom. So for me, that's a big achievement.
And that's the reason why I was actually trying to explain who the Screen Nations are. That Screen Nations aren't just anybody. They are a big, a big entity when it comes to
this space.
Yeah, black and ethnic entertainment, digital media, and
They're
all
the film version of the mobiles.
Yeah. So then we have been nominated and recognized from some relative big dogs, man. And it's a big deal.
Do you know what always makes me laugh about the podcast space in the UK? It's like when I see somebody doing stuff, or I see these new podcasts coming out and they're doing little bits and bobs, and they make it seem like it's so new. We did it like 7 years ago, and I'm like,
yeah, but all things are new to all.
Yeah, but it's just funny, man. So you see something come out, this is, oh my God, I never knew that people would do this. And I'm like, we did this in
the 80s,
in whenever. So it's nice to see, you know, as I said, that we're getting some form of recognition. And the other podcasters, big up the other podcasters that do big us up, that know that what we've done and the pathways that we've laid down for certain things. Yeah, I appreciate those ones that a lot more even than sometimes in the other ones, because they don't have to pick us up.
Yeah.
And they still do it. So, yeah.
And also a shout out to the other nominees as well. Good luck and well done.
Yeah, man. Other nominees that's in there, I know a couple of them. I know I listened to quite a few of them. I know 90s Babies is there. Kelechi Okafor's podcast, Say Your Mind, is there, which I think probably would be the one that might pick up the awards if it's for votes, because I know she's got a lot of dedicated people that are very dedicated to her. I think there was, is it Ballativity or something that's on there?
I'll find it 1 second.
Who else is on there? I think No Shade Podcast is on there as well.
Right, we've got 90s Baby Show.
Yeah.
Who surprisingly I saw a clip from them just today before I came in, and they had their dad on the show.
Yeah,
I think they're brothers.
No.
Well, one of them had their dad on.
Yeah. They did that with one of their mums as well.
Yeah, we did that already. What?
Nah, come on, let's not be.
Well, we did that already. What?
But sure, but go on, keep going.
One of them is
we did twice too. But
3 times.
Yes, true.
Advice podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So Black Ticular.
We give advice and what?
I like that. One's called Get the Belt.
Yep.
We'll talk about beatings next.
Over the Bridge podcast, which is
talk about old people.
I mentioned that.
None of us have been to Cambridge, just out there.
Go
on. That's about higher education stuff. That I like that podcast as well. Rice at Home.
Yep.
Which is about financial literacy.
Plug.
So it's a good podcast. Say Your Mind, which is Kelechi Okafor's one we spoke about.
Plug.
What we do, we talk our mind next.
The Counter Attack, which I'm
football one.
Okay.
Plug.
And the Creative Juice podcast.
Plug.
So those are the ones we're up against.
How many is that up altogether?
So 2, 4,
7?
6, 8, 10.
10.
So every podcast
Top
that's
10
up against us, we're an amalgamation of all those podcasts.
No, but wait, it's top 10. That's a big thing, man. Because I don't know how many podcasts there are. UK podcasts.
Yeah, but then no, bro. Because last year they already had a completely different list of people.
I'm just saying top 10. We made top 10. What do you mean?
I wonder if there's going to be another podcast award this year.
Yeah, every year there are podcast awards. We didn't get enough votes for the isolated podcast awards, just by a standalone podcast awards. We needed enough votes to be nominated or to be put down. Because that's completely, if you vote for these people, we'll put them up for nominations. This one has been nominated by a panel, and then they put the panel chooses which 10, and then the public vote.
I think it's that, and that's what I think I love the most. The fact that a panel has chosen, like, they've curated that list of 10. That's why I think it's such a big achievement.
Sat down and listened and these guys are actually quite
like
good.
We've been put in the conversation with the 10 that, you know what I'm saying to you. So I'm feeling it, man.
Yes.
Anyways,
why are you doing your Robert De Niro face?
Let's not rub our dicky wicks too much. We'll say thank you to Screen Nation for
what
putting
is
us
a
up.
dicky wick?
Penis.
Okay.
What did you think it was?
I have no idea. Your English is fine.
Anyways, thank you to Screen Nation for putting us up.
Thank you.
Thank you for all of you that are voting.
Thank you.
There will be a link on this podcast as you're listening, wherever you're listening on. You just click into the show notes, and there will be a link there saying "Vote for us." So you just click there, and you do have to scroll down because there's no individual bit just for the podcast bit. You have to scroll down a bit, find us, click on it, put in your email address, done. Then do it with your other email address, and then your work email address, and your wife's email address, and your mum's email address, and do that. Wonderful.
Gaza.
All right,
Mr. Forever Da.
So let's say our goodbyes. It's nice to have everyone back on for the first, let's say, proper episode of 2019 with everyone on it. And we're going to get more guests. We're going to get bigger and better throughout the rest of the year. So who's going to say their goodbyes in their church notes?
At Big Wahala on Insta, at Big Wahala on Twitter. Everybody send your positivity my way. I've had the best start of the year, and I want the year to continue to be good. So I want the listeners to send their positivity towards me.
Give him his accolades.
Not the accolades, just the positivity. I'm good with that.
All right, send them good vibes to Big Wahala.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who's next?
You can catch me on Instagram, aka Mr. Wolf, Twitter, aka _Mr. Wolf. I've recently watched a trailer called Us or US Us.
Us, yeah, Us.
It looks quite interesting. It's the same guys that made
Jordan
Get
Peele.
Out. Yeah, man. And
The same one guy.
The same one guy. Okay, yeah, it looks quite interesting, man. Another black film. You know, who's in it? What's the name of this woman? Black Panther girl. Lupita's in it. So something to look forward to. Yeah, something.
What's his name?
Winston Duke.
Winston Duke.
What's his name in the film though?
Mbako.
Yeah, something to look forward to in 2019 in terms of film.
Wow, you got in there. So yeah, watch the trailer for Us, and tell me what you think about the I Got 5 on it remix. Somebody said, "How can you make such a happy song sound so scary?" But anyways, yeah, who's next? Which dreadlock is going next?
At Simple Simon FB on Twitter. I don't have Instagrams.
Creep on it.
This shout out for me is go home, people. Take the opportunity to go home.
And I'm riding high.
That continent of Africa is a very, very special place that you should definitely experience at least once in your life. If you're sitting there saying, well, you know, I want to go, but I don't know anybody back there. I don't know, I haven't got any friends. I don't know anyone to take me around or whatever. You don't worry about that when you're going to Seychelles and you don't know nobody there. You find your hotel and you go and do your thing. Do the same thing with Africa. I'm not telling you which country to go to, but you have to go.
Yeah. Don't say that.
One time.
Because there was one woman at the church that I went to on New Year's Eve, and she was like, they were talking about things that they were thankful for the year, and she was like, I'm thankful because I went to Zambia and my promised land. If you saw the way I looked at this woman, I said, which promised land is this now? That's what they said, the ancestors said before, and they went to go steal things. Don't send them there.
He's talking about his own people, man.
They're English whites.
No, simple though.
I'm just saying, innit? Don't send them there.
He's not sending them there, man. He's sending his people there.
When you mentioned that thing about going home, I've had to MOT the car.
Yeah.
And the mechanic I go to, or I used to go to, like I said, sorry. Like I said, coming from East, we had a proper mechanic. But now I live up in the sticks. I've had to find a new one. And so I'm feeling my way around. So I've been going to one of the major brands and been doing the car there. But they can't even, like, even when they say, oh, this is broken, I say, all right, fix it. Oh, we can't fix it. Not only is it expensive, but you don't even do anything. So I've now started looking around and I found one Asian dude, one Asian Donny down that does it with his sons, yeah? The ones that they talk in a different language when they're trying to rip you off. And I don't understand what they're saying, and I know they're doing it, yeah? But still, their rip off is still going to be cheaper than other people. So anyways, we've gone there and he's serviced the car, he's a multi-lit. So as I've come back, he said, oh, but you need to just sort a couple of these things out, yeah. It passes, but just sort these out. I said, yeah, why don't you do it? He said, oh, you know what? I said, all right, I'll come back and do it. And he told me the price. I said, bruv, man, it was £45 for the actual, what's the parts and what's the other bit? The labour. I said, £45 for labour? Come on, bruv. You know, why you do me like that? I said, I've been going to this one down there, and I told him, he said, I've come to you because I know because you didn't even give me a receipt for this. I know you're not charging VAT, yeah, you're saving your money. He said, which one you go to? I said, the one over there, this one? I said, no. Oh, that one. He said, yeah. So let's just say Quick Fit, for instance. It's not Quick Fit, but let's say that. Oh, Quick Fit, yeah. Yeah, they're white people, man. You know, they don't talk to like we do. I said, that's what he said, this Asian old man. I said, exactly, uncle, bruv. You need to sue me out. He said, all right, I'll come back and sue you. I said, yes, we have an understanding. I said, later on, uncle.
Let's come back and see if he suits you out first before you give this understanding.
I told him, listen, I got 2 cars. I got my brother-in-law that's down there. I said, we're all looking for a nice mechanic. If you sue me out, I'll bring them, innit? But if you want to be trying to rip me off, like any Joe Blogs, then I'll find somebody else.
As soon as he left your bloody march,
Banjod.
Why you tell me fuck your blood?
Fuck you, bloody. Why are you running like woman? I'm not running like woman.
Fuck you.
But why?
Bloody fuck. Why?
Church notes.
Fuck you too.
It's just that thing that if you're not white, I'm sorry for white people. If you didn't know this, the people, when you're not white in this country, everybody's against you. Behind your back, like they might the Asians.
Why
might
are you telling them the secret?
The Asians might not like me, yeah, to my face. Just like they said, once I turn around, they might have cussed me behind my back, but together they're both cussing you. It's like, no, you're the majority, and unfortunately, because you're the majority, they're looking at you like, now we need to bring them down together.
In this country, non-whites are moving like Captain Planet. Earth, wind.
With our powers combined,
Captain Planet, we're the heroes.
Oh, Jesus.
That's the intro. Let's keep going, man.
What you wanna? Why you fuck me? I fuck you, bloody bastard. Fucking running like lady, eh?
What running lady?
Bloody. What the fuck, man?
Why do you sound out of breath from cussing
Fucking
each
no
other?
shout at me, innit? Why you shouting at me? Because I am going to the work. If you don't do it, do the other places. Why you shouting?
Why are you shouting?
Then what you wanna? Why you fuck me? I fuck you, bloody. Bloody.
Yo, people.
That's got to be the clip of 2018, man. It's got to be.
Nah.
That actor.
What's good, people? DATACTOR on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you to everybody at Screen Nations and to all the nominees. Congratulations, well done. Everybody that's voted for us thus far, thank you very much. And those that are going to continue voting for us, we thank you in advance, or I thank you in advance anyway. My pick of the week, of the month, of the year so far, Into the Spider-Verse. Check it out. It's domestic gross was over 100 million, so it's in the top 10 of the best films of 2018.
Not just domestic, I'm assuming.
No.
You have to make that known. Domestic for us is not America.
America's domestic, not our domestic.
It's 100 million.
Yeah. So it's in the top 10 of all the best black films in 2018.
Black films?
Yeah.
You're calling it a black film?
It's a black film. Black director, black actors.
Is the director black?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
The main character voices are black.
Fair enough.
Have you seen it, right?
Yes. I've
Only one main character or two.
No.
The Spider-Man.
The Neo Spider-Man is a white actor, and
there's other major characters that are black. It's not just.
So it's the dad, the uncle, and Miles Morales.
Yeah.
3 main black characters.
Okay.
And they're big actors, isn't it?
I just don't know
within
if
it,
they're
right?
Oh, and Kingpin as well.
Is he black?
Yeah.
Kingpin is gangster in that one.
Who voiced Kingpin?
Which Kingpin is better? Kingpin in Spider-Man's Kingpin or Kingpin in
Daredevil.
Oh my days.
Daredevil's
I
Kingpin.
sat down with my brother-in-law, spoke about that Daredevil, and he was just like, that guy's the best.
He's
and he goes,
wicked.
if they do a film and they don't go and get that guy, then they've messed up. He's so good.
He's so good. He is very good.
What's the woman's name?
Which woman?
His woman.
Oh, Vanessa.
Gotta
get Vanessa.
He was a bad man.
Anyway,
This one wants to go. All right, and you done?
I'm done. Yeah. Please go and see the film if you haven't seen it.
Okay. I am Stavros. You can catch me at Stavros Boss everywhere. My Stavros Says this week, like I said earlier on, is the Boris documentary. You can find it on iPlayer if you're in the UK. If not, VPN is your friend. So just go watch that. And there's a bit in the middle, like I said, around 40-something minutes where they have an argument inside the studio once they're rehearsing. And yes, that is somewhat similar to Stavros and Mahala, if you cared to know what it was like when we argue. Thank you very much for listening to ESN. You can catch us at ESN Podcast on all your social medias. Use the hashtag ESN Pod to join in the conversation. We will be asking about circumcised or uncircumcised penis. We'll find out which one you women like, or you men that like it that way. We don't discriminate. If you want to send us any questions or comments or voice notes, you can do that to esnpodcast@gmail.com. Please do that. We want more so we can play them on the show and discuss it. Thank you guys for coming in, and long life and prosperity for 2019.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you ain't saying nothing, say it well.
Slag for life. So you really wanted to talk about the show? You wanted to talk about it on the podcast, isn't it?
No. No food for you.
Interesting. Yes, and as for this in the jungle. As for this thing, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, it was dog kind. Oh, okay. I see. All right. I know that better than you guys. No, it's cool. They were bowling up.
5 years old.
Hey, all you Planeteers at home. Remember, turn off the faucet between usages and recycle those plastics. Or else, I'll turn you into a fucking tree. Captain Planet, motherfucker.